Chevron 1 encoded. Chevron 2 encoded. Chevron 3 encoded. Chevron 4 encoded. Chevron 5 encoded. Chevron 6 encoded. Chevron 7 locked. Good luck out there.
Hello.
Hi, welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello and welcome everyone to this week's episode of Stargate Flames of Hope. We are here, we are excited to play, and all my audio is set up, and it's fine. It's good now. So we're going to go around, we're going to say who we are, who we're playing, and then we'll get started. I am Lindy. I love Lindy, and I will be playing Ixora, the Aturan scientist and overall near pacifist. And someone who's just a great lover of making friends and peace. Beneath me on the overlay is Deception Check. Deception Check, how are you tonight?
Oh, I'm doing wonderful. I'm playing Fiddler. He is a Tolan engineer and definitely not a pacifist, and is definitely not trying to figure out a way how to find out as much information about this A as possible without triggering our deaths. So,
yes,
should be fun.
Triggering death, I would like to avoid that this eve. But we'll see what happens, because someone who could trigger that death is Trooper, our wonderful guest for this evening. Trooper, how are you tonight?
Hi, I am Trooper SJP, and I am happy to be here, mostly because I have a sense, I'm playing Cerberus, who is a living ship, and who's got a few concerns, like somebody snuck into my person and did weird things to me, and I don't like it. They kidnapped me. I was kidnapped. There was like a whole milk carton box of have you seen this ship and everything. And now the people who've arrived, they are not going to mess with my fragile body or do anything that would upset me because they're my friends. Because I was told that they're all pacifists and totally my friends. So nothing bad will happen. I don't need to trigger any of the fail-safes.
I don't know if we said we were pacifist, but we said we were friendly. Someone who's definitely very friendly is D20 Coup de Grace. Trip, how are you tonight?
Yes, I'm doing very good. I'll be playing Goa'uld. He's the Jafar pacifist. Yes. Don't worry about the weapons on his back. Yeah.
You just say it, and I don't think about my deception check. I have a 0 deception, so I feel like you just say it, and I'll buy it.
But yeah, I can't wait to play. I'm excited.
I'm very excited as well. And of course, our last player, but certainly not our least player, because they're technically the leader, is Shiny Pilot. Shiny Pilot, how are you tonight?
I'm good. Tired, but here and ready to play. It's been a while. So I'm going to be playing Jake Milder. He is the team lead. He's of Earth, the Tari, and looking forward to tonight. So let's have some fun.
Let's have some fun. Falls upon... Just kidding. Let's herd some cats. Falls upon our Gate Master for this evening. Nuggetosaurus, how are you tonight?
I am fantastic. I'm very excited to be back. This is our penultimate episode, second to last. We've only got one more after this, so we're gonna make them some good ones, some interesting ones. Yeah, I'm the game master tonight. I'm gonna run you guys through the remainder of this mission. Just for those out there, this is still technically the same mission, so our tension die is the same. It is a D8 that has not changed. It could be good, could be bad, depends on y'all's decisions. But before we get started, I'm just gonna do a quick little recap because it has been a hot minute since we played last. Last time we played, our Stargate Phoenix 3 was on a bit of a hiatus. They had some shore leave, quote unquote, because of their encounter with, their last mission. It was a bit intense. They got some shore leave. They were allowed to, take some time to rest. That unfortunately was a little interrupted. During y'all's shore leave, you had Jessie, y'all's handler. She essentially rounded you guys up, or sent Heim and Deem to round you guys up, and brought you into the briefing room for a briefing from General PK Lawyer. He told you guys that Phoenix 1 and Phoenix 2 were off-world on mission, and they didn't want to send any other team, any any of the ancillary teams, because you guys have experience, you guys have been in the center of some hot stuff, so he was more comfortable sending you guys. He let you know that they found like a low-lying signal in a deserted planet. Essentially, there wasn't any life forms, anything like that, any major life forms like that on this planet, and they sent you guys to investigate. When you got there, you guys took one of your Hataks, one of the many Goa'uld ships that the Phoenix Command has access to. You guys took that. It was a bit of a trip, not too long. You guys just, did some research, caught up on, your whatever you guys were doing, reports, things like that. When you arrived, you guys were able to pick up the signal. It was, like General Lawyer told you, it was a very weak signal. Essentially, you wouldn't know it was there if you weren't looking for it. The team that discovered it happened to stumble upon it as they were flying through the space, didn't have time to check it out, and reported it back, and then Lawyer sent you guys. General Lawyer let you guys know that they were interested because it was essentially the signal that they were picking up was similar to the one that you guys reported on your very first mission. One of your very first missions. I don't know if it was the very first. I think it was like one of the first couple that you guys did, where a ship eluded you. It was hijacked on one of the planets that you guys were on, where you got stuck in a time loop or some type of time distortion. Ixora and Fiddler, while you guys were not far from it in that area, and you guys essentially, your reports of that signal let them realize that this is a similar signal. And when you guys arrived, you recognized that it's not similar, it's the same. This is the exact same signal that you guys were getting originally. So you did a scan of the planet, didn't find anything concerning, nothing like that. So you guys did go down. Your pilot did drop you guys. They let you off, and now they're in orbit waiting for your command to come back. You were able to gain access to the ship. Fiddler was able to scratch the surface and kind of enter slightly into the ship's systems, just very, very slightly, just kind of on the surface. And you guys encountered Cerberus, the ship's AI, which, as you guys were, conversing with Cerberus, started kind of to realize that maybe it's not the ship's AI, maybe it is the ship. Maybe Cerberus is more complex than you guys realized initially. Cerberus was not speaking your language at first. They were speaking ancient. And then eventually they were able very quickly actually to decode your language as you guys were speaking it, and is now able to speak English alongside the rest of you. They invited you in, offered you some tea, and now I believe Goa'uld and Miller are going to take care of the body of the intruder, and Fiddler and Ixora are headed to the nerve center, the bridge, essentially the main systems. So that's where we're going to pick up, but we're not going to pick up with you guys. We're going to pick up with Cerberus. Cerberus, you have 4 beings traversing your halls. You haven't had visitors in quite some time. You've got some, gaps in your memory. How's Cerberus feeling right now? What is Cerberus's thought process at the moment?
Oh, well, I have multiple thoughts, of course. I have a multi-threaded core, so I have more than one thought happening at one time. My first thoughts are, quick question. No one is listening to my thoughts right now. This is only you who is hearing this, correct?
Correct. No one is listening to your thoughts at the moment.
Excellent. My first thoughts are, I feel as if there has been some sort of damage, both physical and perhaps also psychological, to myself. I'm concerned about toxic memes or viruses and also being stabbed. I'm hoping that these visitors may help me fix this. I am, however, most concerned about this kidnapping and this signal that was being sent out. I suspect that if a signal was sent out, it was sent out to, well, hail someone, and that whoever that might be on their way here and now, and that means we should not be here or now. While I was told not to trust strangers, I do not feel as if being, well, I must be careful, but I think these people must come with me. Well, if they can get me moving, they must come with me into outer space as quickly as possible so that we are not here when we are, well, whoever is on the other end of that signal might arrive. I'm also quite concerned that I'm late for reporting in. Well, if you're late for reporting in, the consequences could be catastrophic. I'm also concerned that they don't, well, how can I invite them to hospitality while making sure that they do not access parts of the ship that could be dangerous? I think that's the best way to phrase it. Dangerous. I would not want any harm to befall anyone who is not authorized to have danger befall them.
Perfect. I love it. Yeah, you seem to have a lot of concerns at the moment.
Yes.
Go ahead, make me a let's go with an engineering check. Let's just do an engineering check to start.
Yes. If you'll excuse me,
24.
that's a 24.
Perfect. I love it. Okay. So you've got a lot of concerns. There's a lot of stuff
Yes.
going on, a lot of things that should be happening that aren't happening, signals going out, things like that. With your 24, you had already detected that there was some type of corruption in parts of your coding, which is why that signal was going out. There was like some type of virus or some type of damage or something like that to your communications, both long range and short range. With that engineering check, you do also essentially start the process of diagnosing your propulsion issues, because your engines, they're working, but they're not responding to you. So with that check, you are beginning essentially in like your ancillary brain, just starting to work that problem and figure out diagnosing things like that.
I should activate some of the larger helpers I have on the ship to begin with their welding materials and nanites to help repair. So I imagine perhaps small little Roombas that are perhaps a little bit larger start moving to help start repairing things.
Absolutely. As soon as you think it, essentially, it happens. You have, and they're a little bit more hefty than like Roombas are. And these ones have the normal ones are just that they're just like kind of circular plates, robots. They can adapt as they need to, but these ones are specific for repairs, physical repairs, things like that. So they do have a couple of appendages. They have about 4 appendages that they can use to do all of those different things. And they do start heading off into the engine bay and the propulsion systems, and they head off in that direction. With your engineering check, you do also get a ping from the how do I word this? Not the restricted section of your the private quarters. You do get a ping from that in some of the readings that you have there. You do see that there is a bit of spike in REM activity.
What? Is everything all right?
Nothing is in the red, but there is an unusual, like I said, spike in the REM activity. They do seem to be a little bit more close to the surface than they normally are in this moment.
That is not normal. I would like to feel my sensors on that pod to make sure there's no distress.
Yeah, you make me a, since we're doing like a feeling kind
Medicine?
of thing. Yeah, you can do, we'll do medicine or insight.
I would like to do insight on these strangers, but medicine on my friend.
Perfect. Okay, so do the medicine first and then the insight.
14 for medicine.
Okay, perfect. Why is that not?
Also, these
There we go.
visitors seem to imply that it has been a very long time and that many of the things that I knew may not be in existence. I have some concerns about my civilization.
Yes, those are definitely some concerns. And you know that you're supposed to be getting signals, supposed to be getting pings that you're not currently getting at the moment. So those are some valid concerns that you have there. With your 14 medicine check, again, nothing seems to be in the red. Nothing is out of the border, the baseline, the your usual readings, except for that there's some additional REM activity that's not. You only see this every couple hundred years. It's not something that's very common. Maybe they're dreaming, maybe, they're coming out of their stasis. Maybe you're not totally sure. Not quite the stasis bit. They do seem to be a little, they haven't thawed enough for that, if that makes sense. There's still, all of those safeties are still in place.
Might I ask a somewhat another question?
Sure.
How is my friend's, generally speaking, medical history? Are they well? Am I worried about them?
When they went down, they were well.
Mm.
You were a little concerned about their behavior. They were very cagey. They didn't seem at ease when they went down. But since then they haven't woken. None of the systems, none of the fail safes have triggered. They've been sleeping this whole time. You do know that they do have a medical issue, but you've been keeping it under control. They have a heart murmur that has been a problem in the past, but currently with your attention, it is not a problem while they're sleeping.
Very disconcerting. I do not like this. And I would like to make an insight to see how trustworthy these people are, including Tauri.
Absolutely. Go ahead. Insight.
At 10, I'm very good at insight. I'm able to tell if people are distrustful because I am very good with those things. A 10.
Everyone else, you guys can make me either deception or persuasion checks, whichever you feel your character would make at this time, just in general, just their vibe. Are they trying to be deceptive? Are they trying to be open and friendly?
Sora doesn't have a deceptive bone in her body.
Can I make a survival check?
This is not my skill.
You know what? I'll allow it, Gork. I'll allow it. Trying to survive this AI. Absolutely.
Can I stealth and just not be noticed?
Well, you are inside.
I know.
Cerberus, so I don't. Not quite.
It would be a deception, but this is going to be
hiding
0.
Check. Yeah, we are.
Okay.
Look, the nerds have our heart on our sleeve.
Or perceptive.
Yeah,
We're just.
So
0.
Gorik
Um,
says
vibes.
agree with the AI.
agree with the A. Okay.
Hey, at least you didn't that one. You
Yeah,
know.
yeah. So Gorik, you rolled a 21. What would agree with the AI? What would you be presenting? Like how would Gorik be behaving as he is going to clear out these bodies for Cerberus?
Well, Gorik is probably looking for mostly any indication on the body of who it could be,
Okay.
and then yeah, clearing it out.
Yeah.
Clearing it out. Okay,
What-
Yeah,
I
perfect.
think they were
Time to move.
Kotos's goons.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
This-
Does
Good to be
this
efficient.
Gorik seem? Does this Gorik seem, having rolled so well, hostile, friendly, trustworthy? These are my questions.
Yeah, they trustworthy, not quite. You don't know them well enough. You do have that coding and that training not to instantly be like, oh yeah, you're fine.
Yes.
So you are a little wary of them, but you're not getting any outright hostile vibes, nothing like that. They seem to be doing what you were asked, what you requested to get rid of this problem. Jake,
It would
how
smell.
yeah, it does smell. It's a little stinky. It's been in there for a bit. Gorik and Jake. Jake, how are you presenting in this moment as you're observing this body, helping Gorik? You did roll a 19 on your persuasion.
Definitely be helping Gorik, but it'd be a look of like concern, still mistrusting just a little bit, and
Yeah.
trying to reason through it. So there's a look of concentration, thought,
Okay.
deep thought on the face as he's going about his duties and just trying to understand who this might be and what is going on here. It's just piecing it all together.
Okay. Cerberus, for Jake, you are getting they seem to be focused on the task at hand. They're not Ixora very plainly is open, friendly, honest.
Completely trusts you 100%.
Completely, yeah. Out of all of
already.
them, Ixora is like the most that you're like, okay, yeah, they're fine. Jake is more closed off. He's harder to read. But again, same thing with Gorik. You're not getting outright hostile vibes from them. Fiddler,
Friendly dork.
Yeah.
Completely trusts the AI we just met.
yeah,
It's like, I trust you implicitly.
it's on par with the previous AIs that you've met.
Totally fits.
Fiddler, you know, you can tell, Cerberus, that Fiddler is in your systems, but you've known that from the get-go. They're just very much so on the surface, just kind of reading the transfer of data, things like that. How would Fiddler be acting in these moments as he's heading up to the
tense?
The exact opposite. I'm completely
he's
relaxed.
looking like he's literally like keeping his tablet close to his chest in a way and kind of like trying to figure out where the sensors are in his space. You know, he's not sure what to think right now, and he's like he's not in control. He understands how dangerous the situation is, and he has no idea how to get out of it. So he is just tense and uncomfortable.
Cerberus, you read all of that.
I love this stark contrast between us.
Same thing with Ixora. You read Ixora like a book. You read Fiddler like a book.
This Fiddler, they seem tense. Do they seem tense about the body, this kidnapper, or do they seem tense because they mean ill will? How honest do they seem?
That's an excellent question. So, deception check, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like Fiddler's not necessarily like lying or trying to stop it. Sorry, pets. Not lying and not trying to like cause harm or anything like that. I feel like in these moments, Fiddler is more so worried for both his own and his teammates' safety.
I would even say that since I rolled a 0 and Cerberus had a 10, Probably you could also say it's a hint of fear.
Mm.
You see that.
And you can
Would
read that
this
it's a fear
be
of
towards
you.
myself? I
Mhm.
see.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, well, that will not do. I have to activate my robots to deal with this situation. I'm going to activate my robots. This fiddler is a what species?
They appear to be human.
Huh,
You can
one of the
tell.
Tauri.
We did say
Yeah,
Tolan
yeah.
earlier.
No, we did say
Oh,
Tolan.
yeah, we did
very
say
dismissive
Tolan.
of the Tari.
They appear human, and you do know you have access in your records. When the ship was launched, the Tolan were a relatively new growing society that
Mhm.
was still very primitive. But you can tell just by the equipment that Fiddler has that that is no longer the case at this point in time. You see that he has, through your sensors, he has like correct me if I'm wrong, but you have like a arm computer, personalized computer, kind of like a Pip-Boy, kind of, but like more sci-fi and sleek. That is more advanced than you see like what Jake Miller has.
I see.
And you also notice that there's a different piece of technology there that is definitely not something that you would assign to the Tari with the phase device. You can tell that it emits a different type of energy signature and could possibly, your advanced sensors could probably show that it might allow me to not destabilize, but to phase my molecular structure in ways that could let me pass through objects or barriers.
Mhm.
Well, I will go through my record on the Tolan, and I will get some sort of counter agent for this fiddler. I will have my robots, my small helpers, manifest what from my records, which are admittedly somewhat old, will manifest what is it called? A dessert that would be native to the Tolan people. And I will have this delivered to this fiddler so they will be less frightened. I believe that desserts make people feel less frightened.
Perfect. I love it. So you get that
It's gonna
squared
amp
away.
it up. I'm so
Yeah.
excited.
Right. You get that squared away. Your robots are taking care of it. Essentially, you have a couple robots in the gallery that are like constructing it, kind of thing. While that's happening, we're gonna pan the camera over to one of the auxiliary storage rooms, where Jake Miller and Goa'uld are examining this body. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you guys did medicine checks last time. Let me just see.
Yeah, because there's one in like the mess hall area, and we got.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't
medicine
remember,
checked
to be
it.
honest.
And then they yeeted one of them out.
Oh yeah, we tossed the body out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys were able to get that body out. So
He's like, get rid of the
yes.
corrupted thing, and we're like, okay, yeet.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, so you guys were able to, and just a refresher, because like I said, I can't remember, but I'm pretty sure you guys did. This body that is in the storage room they were killed by asphyxiation, essentially lack of oxygen. They have no wounds, nothing like that. Doesn't look like they were harmed any other way. It was literally just they couldn't breathe. They don't have any like bruising on their necks from strangling or anything like that. You imagine you
No
guys
acid disintegration.
Yeah, no acid, no
Okay.
disintegration, no nothing.
Hey,
You
I
imagine
said, no more
that
air.
yeah, you imagine that the room was vented of air, whatever room they were in. You do find on them, they are a Jaffa. You do find a Zat, and you find a like a not a USB, like a data device.
Ooh.
Okay.
Go ahead and you guys can make me a science or engineering check. with that.
Yes.
I'm so engineering sciencey. Hey, all right, cool.
It's a really low check. It's you
Oh.
guys should be good.
Got
Should
an
be able to see.
18.
18, okay.
Okay, on my planet, they probably call this primitive.
Mhm.
Yeah, it didn't work out.
Okay. With Jake's 18, you've seen these before. These are standard
Seen
data
them.
devices
Mission files
of
before.
yeah, you've encountered these yourself. You've encountered them in mission reports and things like that. This is just like a standard Jaffa data device, Goa'uld data device. This one you can tell with your 18, this one has been damaged, and it is beyond repair. You're not totally sure what happened to it. You do see like some like scorch marks. It looks like it was burnt out, maybe. You don't know if that's a result of it being inserted into something and short circuiting, or if it was damaged by like gunfire or something, like because Zats are energy weapons kind of thing. Not totally sure how it got this way, but it's unusable essentially. Pretty quickly or pretty easily, you guys are able to pick up this body and discard it. Like the other one, you guys are all squared away with that pretty easy. Yeah. You guys are back in essentially the room that you guys came in, the big like cargo bay, essentially. What would you guys like to do now?
Jake could kind of look around. Is there like security cameras on this type of ship? There probably wouldn't be, but he's like,
yeah, not that you see. You don't see any like sensors or any
like,
cameras
sensor
or
type thingies. Yeah. What did they use? Those like little sphere thingies or whatever.
Yeah, you don't see anything like that. You don't see any type of like what you would know, because you've been on Goa'uld ships, you know that they do have like sensors that you can see. They're small, they're different, they're not like human cameras or anything, but you don't see anything like that. This is a design of a ship that you're unfamiliar with, and you don't see anything that sticks out. Although, go ahead and roll me a perception check. I was gonna say spot hidden, but that's the wrong game.
That's tomorrow night.
That's tomorrow night, yeah.
Miller.
16, okay. With your 16, you do see in essentially like one side of this cargo bay, there does appear to be a door. It's closed currently. But you see, you don't know ancient, but you have been around ancient for some time. Also roll me an intelligence check, please.
I am the most intelligent. A 3.
3, okay. Yeah, you do see some ancient. It kind of looks like, like when you're in like
that's ancient. Yeah.
yeah, you recognize it as ancient. It's kind of like when you're in like an office building or something, they have like numbers on for the doors kind of thing. Like that's where it's placed, but it looks like it's a name for the door or the area, something like that. But you can't quite make out what it says.
Hey, Goa'uld, you read ancient?
Let me see here.
I don't think so.
I don't think he does. It's kind of just general chit chat.
I think it says garage.
Garage. I like the sound of that. He tries to look for a door button to press it, and he's gonna boop a button.
Yeah, you do see there is a I don't know if you've seen Stargate Universe, but like the door presses that are on the Destiny, where it's like this circle and then these two like little curved triangles. One is red, one is green. You click it and it flares up. It flares up red. It does not open.
Oh.
Huh. I think it's saying you don't have access.
Wonder if,
and you do know that your walk from the cargo bay to the gallery or galley where you guys had the tea, every time you pass through a door, it was unlocked and opened for you. It appears that Cerberus is only allowing you in sections that they allow.
Hey, Cerberus, are we allowed in here? Hello?
Hello.
Oh,
How are you?
I wasn't sure that would work. I'm doing great. What's this door in front of me? If you don't mind me asking.
Oh, the label is on the door so that you might understand it.
Let's just say that I'm not too good on my ancient. Does it say
Oh.
like death or
Cerberus, this hallway leads to some of the research rooms, essentially.
Oh.
Yes, it says death. That is a joke. I
Oh.
have been told that it is
Oh.
important to bring levity and humor for long flights.
my
Ha ha ha.
Ah.
my spirits are leavened. They will
I am
rise
glad.
like a good dough.
I
Ah,
I don't get it.
It's
Oh.
he gives a look to Gorik like, I don't know.
humor is about saying the opposite of things that are true and then revealing that you said the opposite. This is a form of humor. Like, it is, oh, I missed you, but then I did not miss you. I read a book about it. Well, I had a book inserted into my files. It was the 100 top jokes of the Antiquaeus. You may not understand all of them.
Be very willing to learn actually, because I'd never heard of ancient jokes before. That's a neat concept.
Yes, they are about science mostly, because we care very much about this. These are research labs.
Wherever Fiddler is on the ship, you should absolutely tell him one of those jokes. He would love it.
Ah, I see. Yes, Fiddler. And I continue my plan to make Fiddler at ease.
I love it. I love it. So, speaking of Fiddler and Ixora,
Yes.
Oh goodness.
you
my third
guys
cup of
are
tea. It's great.
third cup of tea. Yeah, it's phenomenal. This is literally like some of the best tea you've ever had.
My goodness.
This is
There's like
how they
a-
get you though. You drink the tea and then you're hooked, and then there's no going
yeah.
back.
I'm gonna try to synthesize it.
There's like
but-
a little robot that every time you finish the tea, it like pops up and
Oh,
you
that's
put the
dangerous.
yeah,
Yeah.
you put the cup on it, it goes away, gets you a new one, and brings back a fresh cup of tea.
Ixora
Essentially,
is delighted. This is like a 6-year-old on Christmas. This is just the best thing ever.
Just a little tea Roomba.
Yes.
You guys, Ixora and Fiddler, y'all are heading to the bridge, the nerve center of the ship. Same thing like with you when you guys were on the way to the galley. Anytime you essentially come upon a door, it takes a couple seconds, it opens, you go through it, closes behind you.
More tea. Oh.
Yeah, and then your tea pops up and it, goes off. When you guys get to the bridge, you see again, I don't know how familiar you guys are with Stargate universe, but it is very similar to the Bridge of the Destiny. There is one central chair in the middle of a semicircular room, and then you have 3 stations. You have a middle one that has these big massive windows that look out. Right now they're shuttered, you can't see anything, but you imagine they look out onto the planet. And then the 2 side stations they have smaller windows, also shuttered, shielded at the moment. They're all of the workstations, they're all dead well, not dead, but they're off currently. And as you enter, you do see there is essentially, they wake up as you come in. You don't know if you would have access to all of the ship systems if Cerberus would allow that, but you do see they do come on. And there is over the center main console, like a big it's like a holographic screen pops up there essentially, and you do see some readouts. Just gives you some just very basic engine information. You can see that it looks like engines are working fine. There is you can see that there's like some red in the propulsion systems. There's some alerts going off there, just very minor. And you also see some alerts in the communication center as well, both long range and short range communications. And those are the main things that you guys see when you come in. What would you like to do?
You know, Fiddler.
Yes.
a lot of this ship's construction, the material, specifically the metal, I've noticed it. You know, it reminds me a lot of Lacan's ship. Does it
And
remind
she
you
said this,
of
Fiddler.
Lacan's ship?
It does. As she brings this to your attention, it looks pretty much spot on.
Now you mention it, it does sort of. I was just kind of going over my head the schematics of all the ancient ships we've gone across before to see where we might. I imagine Ixora is finishing another cup of tea, and another robot comes out and grab it, and he just like kind of jumps a little bit, and just like slides a little further away.
Oh, thank you. And she thanks the robot every single time.
Every time.
Yes.
I love it.
Could you not? Can you just stop drinking the tea, please?
Oh, Fiddler, it is so good. I know not if I have had such wonderful tea in my time.
Fine. All right. So I'm just going to focus on. Okay. Now,
Are you all right? Perhaps you need a cup of tea.
No, I'm perfectly fine. No, I've got my own rations I brought with me. It's going to be fine.
Fiddler. The one called Fiddler.
Yes,
Sorry.
sir. Your shipness, sir.
It is arriving for you now.
Literally back against the wall.
A Roomba.
And to try to make Fiddler feel better, but perhaps Lacan modeled her ship's design off of this ship's design, since this is an ancient vessel, and, well, Goa'uld are known for taking and copying ancient designs.
Uh-huh. What is coming at me right now?
Yeah, you see a little Roomba coming at you. It's got a dish on top of it.
Mhm.
And Trooper, did you have any particular dessert in mind?
I'm imagining it's a dessert that would have been popular in the records a couple thousand years ago when the Tolan were not necessarily exactly where they are right now, but what I would have had in my records.
Okay.
Probably-
Kind of like a
it's
mochi
probably-
or something.
Yeah,
some sort of
yes.
fruit.
Yeah, you see, essentially it's like a little fruit tart kind of thing. Fiddler,
But
make
without
me
as much
culture
sugar.
check.
If you
Yeah.
do those, if you ever look at like the Max Miller tasting history, it would have
Uh-huh.
been like, this is what people ate a few thousand years ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah.
Lots of
Fiddler,
spices, yeah.
Make me a culture check, please, Fiddler.
A culture check.
You do have advantage. This is your own culture.
Okay. 18.
Oh,
18, very nice. Okay. You recognize this, surprisingly. It is a very old, very traditional dessert in Tolan culture. You haven't seen this in a very, very, very long time. Like your great grandmother made it for you when you were very young.
Mhm.
It's not something that's popular these days because
It's not
a
something
little
that's
tart.
possible to be made these days.
Yeah. You imagine so it looks
Tolan
very
kind of.
similar. Yeah, it looks very similar to what your great grandmother made you when you were a kid.
Mhm.
But it looks like you've seen in history books and in like culture books kind of thing. You imagine this is it's probably an exact replica of what it was in the past, not what it has adapted to be this day.
A Tol tart.
Okay.
Yeah, a Tol tart. I
Tol
love
tart.
it. It's a Tol tart.
Uh-huh.
So he just like, okay, emotions visible across his face,
Uh-huh.
abject horror. Then at first, then it kind of slides into curiosity, and then like disbelief, kind of like that complete faith. And he just kind of gets down. He's like, where did you can't even make these anymore. There's the berry plants are extinct now. The planet, why, how did you?
I'm so sorry. I have a joke for you. I was told you like science jokes.
Okay, this is a bit. Sure, go for it. Please.
What do you do with a sick chemist?
I'm not sure, Cerberus. What do you do with a sick chemist?
If you can't helium and you can't cure him, then you might as well bury him.
Kind of just
Exora
Oh,
cracks up. She laughs like she thinks this is like the most hilarious thing
The
she's
best.
heard all week. Yeah.
Oh, all right. That
So
was
funny.
chuckle worthy. I'll give you that. That wasn't too bad. You see that the joke kind of brought a little bit more of the uncomfortableness back.
Fiddler, make me an insight check, please.
An insight check.
Yes.
Yeah,
And
Okay, I am equally good at this. Hey, 16.
Oh,
16.
Not
Okay.
bad.
I
Cerberus,
can
make
smell
me
your
a
fear.
persuasion or deception check, whichever you prefer. Whatever you were trying to do in this moment.
In this moment, persuasion.
Persuasion. Okay.
An 8.
8. Okay. Fiddler, you pick up that Cerberus appears to be trying to make you comfortable, but they're trying to be your friend, kind of thing. They're just not the best at it.
There is,
Fiddler
you might also
understands.
notice some distress that guests upon the ship are not feeling welcome and feeling hospitality. And so you might guess that this will continue happening until you feel more comfortable.
You pick up on that, Fiddler.
Okay. Seeing as how it feels like Cerberus is attempting to lighten the mood for Fiddler. Fiddler will eat the toll tart.
Okay.
Rather timidly at first.
How does that taste?
It's good. I mean, it's very tart. It's not what you're used to. But it's
It's
good.
not as processed as what my grandma made. I mean, this is honestly, it's wonderful.
Ah, I am glad. I have a large variety of recipes that can be constructed for guests.
He's just thinking constructed. Like, how in the hell did you reconstruct?
Meanwhile,
How-
Exora is
Extinct,
going through
yeah.
what ancient books about cuisine have I read? Is there something that is not made this day that I could try? Some historical
Very true.
recipe. Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
true.
So as he's eating, he's we came up here to try and sort out the signal. Which terminal would you like me to use so that I don't step across any boundaries?
Of course, if you're looking at the various consoles, and the one on the far left is my ear, and the one on my far right is also my ear, but the other one, like you have on your face, the one that would be the symbol on the Jaffa forehead, that is the terminal to look at.
All right. Yeah. Fiddler will just go take the little plate.
Would you like me
with
to
his
use the
dessert.
same terminal or a different terminal?
Oh, you are very friendly. If you like, you may use the terminal that is my left eye.
All right. And I very like carefully set my tea down.
Perfect. So, Fiddler.
Oh, you poked
Yes.
me in the eye. No, that was also humor.
Exora definitely laughs. She thinks it's funny. Genuinely. She's bless her heart.
Perfect. I love it. I freaking love
Fiddler
it.
sighs at that last joke.
Fiddler, you sit
Mhm.
in essentially the one that's the forehead, the symbol,
Mhm.
is going to be that big central chair in the middle of the room.
Perfect.
You sit there. As soon as you sit, a couple of screens pop up in front of you. Ixor, you sit at that main console in the middle. There are 3 seats. You sit on the left, furthest left one in that middle section.
Cool.
Then same thing, your screens essentially come to life as you sit there. Both of you can go ahead and make me, these will be, if you're trying to access systems and diagnose a problem, these will have to be engineering checks.
Okay.
Or if you are specifically looking at the propulsion issue, I will allow a pilot check.
You know, I mean, I could. I don't think I will.
Yeah, so if you're looking up for the corruption, it's going to be engineering. If you're looking at the propulsion issue, it's going to be piloting. Whatever you guys prefer, you can roll.
And this is well, I'm going straight for the main problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because the signal leads bad people to us.
Okay.
Yes. Could I
So it'd be
assist from
engineering
this
then.
consult for Fiddler?
Well, I should because it's a lot tier 4 or higher technology.
Oh,
I
you
get my
should.
attention
Yeah,
die
yeah, yeah.
already.
All right, I'll
Yeah.
just roll then to see what I can do to help, just in general.
Okay.
Engineering.
Okay. Separate rolls then.
Oh man,
Did you say engineering or science or just engineering? Just engineering.
this
Right.
is like
Just
you said,
engineering.
this would be when we start rolling like we normally roll.
Yep.
Like
yep,
literally,
yep.
this is my skill, my best skill, and look at us. You've got to be kidding us.
Oh
Nat
no.
one.
Nat 1. Oh my gosh. Okay.
And a nat 24. Like a nat 20. Like it was like nat 1, nat 20. But I don't have advantage, so.
Okay.
This
So
is-
Well, this is happening.
Oh wait,
by the way.
I think
sent
I
my
can force
Roombas.
a re-roll. Hold on, let me look at my stuff. I might
Yeah,
be
I'm
able to do a
checking all
re-roll.
my skills right now. This is
What
ridiculous.
skills do I have?
so then while that's
Supply.
happening,
Yes.
Cerberus,
I send my little Roombas to Jake Miller and Gorick.
okay.
Jake Miller and Gorick, I am not able to see very far. It is as if someone put a bag on my head, but a large bag because I can still see in short distances. So perhaps not a bag, a large box. Might you go to my sensor arrays and see if they have not been physically tampered with?
Does that? Yeah, we can go look at them. Come on, Gord.
I could,
Are they outside or inside the ship?
They would be
Well, the
outside.
physical arrays on top. On my outside left shoulder.
Outside left shoulder. All right, come on, Gord.
Perfect. I love it. So
All
you guys
right,
head outside.
Game master.
I do have a thing, and I
Yes.
would have done it. I can use one of my Eureka points, which I get at the beginning of our session, to roll with advantage. So I would have rolled with advantage. Because I was
Okay,
trying to
and-
set Fiddler.
And my Xenotech specialist says, in addition, I gain advantage on ability check to understand the function and design of technology, which I'm not already familiar.
Aha.
Okay.
So
okay.
I would have had a nat
So
20, and you would have
Nat
had a
20
dirty
for a 24.
20. Yeah.
And a 19 plus 1 for a dirty
tw-
20.
yeah.
Perfect. I love it. Okay. So you
I
guys
knew we had something for this. I
are-
knew we did.
I know.
was like,
Yeah,
hold on.
yeah. You guys are staring at these screens as they pop up, and as Cerberus gives you minimal access to them. At first, this is total gibberish. Like nothing makes sense. It's all in ancient, which Ixora, you know ancient, but like
This is
the way it's
ancient
set up,
techno babble, like
yeah,
or jargon.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's like binary in ancient, like it's
With some
very
jargon.
strange.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very strange. But after a couple of seconds, it does look
I
like there is
translated.
essentially there's a shift. Cerberus translates it for you guys, and it
Could be
does
helpful.
appear. You guys can read it now. You guys both rolled engineering checks, correct? So you're
Yes.
looking at the corruption issue. Okay.
Yeah.
So we will start with Fiddler. Fiddler, you are in the main hub. Essentially, this is the chair that controls the ship for the most part.
Mhm.
You can tell after a couple, it takes about 5 minutes or so of digging, probing around in all these different systems, figuring out what's connected where, what's going on the surface level. You do recognize that there is not quite a virus, but there seems to be something that is eating at Cerberus's systems and is degrading some of their connections. It appears like when you look at it at first, it's like old age is the thought you get, kind of like a like dementia. Like when you get to that point, some people get dementia, they start forgetting things. They're not making those connections. Their brain isn't functioning the way it should be. That's the first initial thought that you get. When you start digging a little bit deeper at that, you do see that it seems to be some type of artificial virus coding. There is malicious code in Cerberus that is slowly eating away at their nervous system. essentially.
Okay.
Ixora, you are also looking at this problem and you're seeing the same thing Fiddler is saying, but you recognize that this is Goa'uld in design. You've seen, you haven't seen this particular, like you haven't ever seen anything this advanced. This is the most advanced you've ever seen the Goa'uld have. It appears kind of like how Cerberus is a living ship. This appears to be like a living code, a living virus, a living corruption. You do recognize also, you see the point of origin. Funnily enough, it's at
mostly what I was looking for. Yeah.
Funnily enough, you do see it's at the command console that you're at. As you're reading this, you see essentially you're like following its pathway of what it's eaten so far, where it started, and you see that there is a on the console in front of you. There's like there's like a USB port that is like short circuited and burnt out. Like it doesn't seem to be usable anymore.
I think I found the source. It's at this console. Someone used a data device here, short circuited. It's like a living virus which is eating away at Cerberus's nervous system.
It's like old age, but it's artificial.
It's
No one has been in
artificial,
that chair.
but advanced. It is Goa'uld, but more advanced than we've seen other Goa'uld technology.
Do not recall anyone sitting at that station.
I'm sure that that was probably one of the first things they wiped. Probably one of
Cerberus,
your
as you're
intruders
thinking
that you
about
had.
it, you do have a blank in your memory of that time. And you don't recall anyone sitting there, but you also don't recall anything from that time period. So it's possible.
This is I'm concerned about being late.
Yes.
How do I know if my clock is correct?
Well,
I mean, at this point, you can't be sure about anything. You've got malicious code inside your system, and it's rewriting and destroying aspects
and I
of it.
imagine it would adapt as well. So whatever remedy we come up to strike against it, we should probably try to ensure that it works the first time. Otherwise,
if it's designed to protect from anything that Cerberus could do, then it might not be ready for something that we might come up with.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
It's a great idea.
Perhaps. Did I not find anything about the signal? Because that's kind of one thing I would.
That would have been. Hold on, give me a second. Let me check my notes. It would help if I had the document open.
Good,
and
a
not
fifth
just...
cup of tea. Ooh, goodness.
Nope, that's the wrong document. Hold on.
About to encounter a dilemma.
I would start creating desserts for all of them based on whatever I know about their historical records.
Okay, I love it.
Contemporary for me.
Oh, Cerberus, if he's paying attention to Fiddler, will notice that as he's sitting there eating this dessert and working a problem, all the fear, all the tense, all of that is just kind of
work on.
It's melted away, and he's just he's just in his element and is perfectly happy now. So
okay, so
worked.
Fiddler with a dirty 20, you do see that essentially. Let me just double check one more time, make sure I'm looking at the right part. Okay. You do see that some of the corruption, some of the virus has gotten to the communication system, and about a quarter of the communication system has been tampered with, destroyed. And you imagine that's that's what's blocking any signals from coming in. And you do see that signal is on a loop, but it doesn't seem at this point that you know how to turn that off.
Okay.
I think dealing with the corruption should be our number one, because then we would be able to fix the other things.
I would actually argue that if I could get propulsion working, that if we could be on the move, we could continue working, and that might give us the time we need to fix this.
That is fair. Would you like assistance?
Sure.
All right. Otherwise, we
Cerberus.
could work on separate things. Also, yes, Cerberus.
Yes, please, if you would, there is a small book at your feet, Fiddler. It
Oh.
fell. Could you pick it up and place it on the table, on the console?
He
Gently.
picks up the book and gently places it on the console.
I imagine it's like a
Ancient ships for
an
dummies.
ancient. No, I imagine it's like an ancient book that's like a book of poetry, but from the ancients.
Mm.
Like sort of like a
Mm.
like probably also bound, like an actual physical book, not
Mhm.
digital, but like a book
Yeah.
of poetry from
Very
the ancients. Yeah.
Okay.
But it was probably, I imagine, because I forgot most of the space, it probably had been like, was probably sitting on the chair, Fiddler, where you were sitting, but was knocked off and is like on the floor.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, he definitely does that and gently places it. And it's like, that now that that's taken care of, can would this also still be the console for me to look into the piloting errors, the propulsion errors?
Yes,
Yes.
you may look at all things there. And Lieutenant Jake Miller, Gorik, how are the arrays?
That's actually the question: is we step outside, how do we
Yes.
find the arrays? How are they looking?
That is an excellent question. You guys
Is there
can only
stuff on them? Is there a
Um,
dead body plastered onto it like a
Right
blood
on top of
bug
it.
smear? Like, yeah.
Go ahead.
I
You
think
guys
we
can
found
roll
the
me-
problem.
Yeah.
Yes. Either perception or investigation checks to figure out what is the problem with the sensor arrays.
I got a 17.
17. Okay.
Cork got a 13.
And 13. Okay. So Gorik, you're the one who spots the sensor arrays. You guys go outside, do like a little walk around of the ship, and you do see that there is like a cluster of a couple different like antennas and like little mini, like satellite kind of dish things.
I'm guessing that's it up there.
Yeah, you guys do see it. And there are like some outside. It's not like it's not like a ladder that you can climb up, but there are like
Footholds, like little cubby holes.
Yeah, like little like indents in the side of the ship that's kind of like a ladder essentially, that foot and handholds that you guys can climb up. You guys are able to do so pretty easily. When you get up there, you do see that there is a bit of damage. It looks like maybe it was hit or something during the fall. A couple of the antennas are broken. One of the dish has like a big chunk of it taken out, kind of thing. You can see Jake Miller with your 17. You do see that there are some like sparking wires here, and it looks like some of the connections have been disconnected as well.
Looks like we could use some duct tape.
Yeah. How do we know which one's the right one to hook to which one?
An excellent question.
Okay.
You guys do know that there is a debris field around the ship as well. You could see if maybe you could find the parts that fell off. There is also, Cerberus would also have access to schematics and could show you guys, that wiring as well, if you guys wanted to go that way.
Probably
Whatever
be
you
the
prefer.
wiser one, but can Cerberus hear us outside the ship? Can we hear him?
Or
do we have to go back inside?
So to talk to Cerberus, you would have to go back inside. Cerberus can sense where you guys are on the outside, but they don't have currently, because these arrays are down, they don't have any vision outside of the interior of the ship.
Okay.
I'll
'Cause,
start
like,
gathering parts. You look for replacements, all right?
Okay.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm
Perfect.
gonna go
I
and
love
go
it.
talk with the ship here and let them know what we found and see if we can figure out a basic repair diagram. Maybe he could make something for us. Simple.
Perfect.
I pull out a
Gorik.
tube of super glue.
Super glue and some duct tape.
Get some
Super glue and duct tape, universal repair.
Gorik, are you looking around like the debris field and stuff like that? Is that okay? Go ahead and roll me. You can roll me an investigation check.
Oh boy.
I will allow with advantage.
Okay.
Because the
Probably
reason
needed.
being is because a lot of the pieces that fell off are like panels of the ship. These are going to be very obvious that they're not like the typical debris.
Yeah.
So you'll get advantage for that.
13.
13. Okay. It does take you a bit of time, but eventually you are able to find those pieces. While you're doing that, Goric, you're going, or not Goric, I'm sorry. Jake, you're going back inside?
Sorry, I was muted. Yes, I'm going back inside to go ask.
Okay, yeah. Essentially, as soon as you step into the cargo bay, you know that if you speak, Cerberus will be able to hear you.
Hey, Cerberus, so are you there?
Yes,
Oh.
Jake Miller. I normally can hear you outside, but I'm having a hard time hearing outside of my head.
I could see why, because your proverbial ears look ripped off up there.
Oh,
Gorik's looking for your ears right now out in the debris field, but would you be able to give us some sort of very simple, and I stress simple, connecting diagram to put these together? Or you could send
you
Fiddler out
have
here.
a computerized device.
Sure.
If you would place it against one of the walls.
Oh, yeah, I could do that. And I think Jake would have some sort of
We have tablets.
tablet.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Everybody's got a tablet.
He'd put it near the wall and see what happens, kind of staring at the screen.
Ancient technology.
Wi-Fi over some
Perfect.
images.
Yeah, so
Hey.
you it's super easy. Essentially, Jake, you put it, you just kind of hold the tablet against the wall for a couple seconds, and you see like the kind of similar to, you wouldn't know, but how Fiddler and Ixora saw like that ancient binary that pops up. You have no idea what it says. That pops up for a couple seconds on your screen, and then it goes away, and you see that there is a new icon on your tablet's home screen. And when you select it, it is just it's a little complicated because it is an ancient ship, but it's as simplified as it can be schematic for the sensor array.
Rubs his head and he goes,
While I'm doing this, I'm having my nanites take care of this for me. I feel as if his technology is somewhat primitive. Within my parameters, I would like to upgrade this tablet, but not so much as to violate our philosophy. Just a small amount.
Absolutely. I
This
love that
this
idea.
is my favorite tablet, and now you're gonna have to make me donate it to science.
Fiddler.
They're gonna
It's
steal
only
it.
if you
I'm
tell
never-
somebody. That's only if you tell
I'm never
somebody.
gonna see
only
this
if you
tablet
say
ever
something.
again.
Cerberus, go ahead and make
Only a small
me
amount.
just a little bit. Make me a engineering or science check, whichever you prefer.
I gave an engineering of 12. I know that it is important for us not to interfere with the free will of others, but I feel as if this could use a small RAM upgrade.
Yeah. With a 12, you're not able to do anything like super eccentric to it, but you are able, essentially, you make it a little faster. You make the resolution a little better. It looks a lot clearer now. I mean, granted, Jake, your tablet was already, top of the line by human standards.
it was great.
You notice it's like 4K plus kind of thing now.
Nice.
Like it looks better than 4K, which you guys really don't have access to at this time. And you do like you wouldn't know in this moment, but later on when you're messing with your tablet, it is a lot faster. It does have, essentially, its storage has tripled, so you can put a lot more on it now. Nothing super world breaking to have
Ancient
this
Minesweeper.
technology. Yeah. There's a game, essentially, it's like Ancient Pong that was loaded on as well.
The snake game,
Yeah, like the snake game. You got 3 games. You got Minesweeper, Pong, and Snake, but they're all like the ancient version of those games that loaded in as well.
Nice. Good
I
peace
love it.
offering. He'll look at it and he'll go, wow, thanks. We will. Do you know what duct tape is?
No.
Never mind. Don't worry about it. We'll get it fixed. Thank you. I'll be back if we have questions.
Okay. You head back outside.
Please be safe, because I cannot see you when you leave my ship. Normally I can, but I cannot right now.
We will be careful. Thank you. Jake doesn't know what to feel about this talking ship
Fair.
telling him to be safe. But
Stay
he's like,
safe.
okay, seems pretty
You're
nice,
not
you
my
know.
mom, but
You're,
okay.
no,
I don't know
yeah,
what to
no,
do.
it's along the lines of like, oh, I'm kind of starting to trust it, you know. I'm kind
Yeah.
of feeling it out. So
It's been a pleasant experience so far.
yeah, it's been
Um,
good.
So you head up and you climb back up the knot ladder, and you start the work of repairing the sensor array. Gorik does come back. He does bring not all of the parts that were broken off, but a sizable chunk of them. You were able to find that, Gorik. And you guys start on that work.
Gork's already up there trying to put it together. He takes some gum out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Stick it on
Sorry,
there.
I'm just imagining very much
Super glue. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Star Wars. No. This one goes here. That one goes
Right,
there.
right.
Right.
Yeah, Jake comes up and is like, "No, this schematic says this goes there," kind of thing.
But
Yeah, you
then
guys are
the
working on
tablet's
that.
like upside down, so you have to turn it right side.
You turn around.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
I have a concern.
Okay.
I'm concerned about this corruption. I would like them to check some electronic paths, but I would like them not to know what they are.
Okay.
I would like to take the names off so that the labels are not there, so that I might ask them to check through their poking about this to make sure that no corruption has gotten into a place.
Yeah. Yeah, no, easy peasy. You're able to do that. Not a problem. You can manipulate data in a split second. In
Excuse
less than
me.
a second.
Cerberus,
Yes.
is there a bathroom on this ship? She's having like her 6th cup of tea.
Oh, yes, indeed.
Could you be so
I will
kind as
have
to direct me there? I'm
Of
very
course.
hydrated.
Yes. One of my little Roombas will come to escort you through the ship.
Oh, thank you.
Fiddler, if you are tracing this corruption, would you please check to make sure there is no corruption in, little schematic comes up, in this component of the ship?
Sure. I mean, if you're giving me access, I'll take a look and see if I can track the corruption in that direction.
Absolutely.
Just
Go
make
ahead.
sure nothing has gotten there, please.
Of course.
You can make an engineering check with advantage or science, whatever you prefer.
Engineering.
You make that check with advantage, a 19 plus 8, so 27. 7, thank you. Yeah, we'll get to that in a second. As Ixora is going to the bathroom, is being led through the ship, we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna take a bathroom break of our own, just for 10 minutes. It's gonna be a little bit of a longer session today than we normally do because this is our penultimate episode and I want to get through this. So take a break, walk around, grab a snack, hydrate, and we'll be back in a little bit.
And
Then we're
5,
back.
4.
Welcome. We're back from break.
Hello, welcome back. So, we took a quick break while Ixora also took a quick break and headed to the bathroom.
Yes.
You are led into a very nice, very functional bathroom. It smells really good.
Ooh.
It smells kind of like fresh linens. You don't see any there's no air wick or incense or anything
ancient
like
linen
that.
though, which is its own
Yeah,
unique smell, and she's
yeah,
trying
exactly.
to makes a couple notes.
Yeah, it's like fresh linen, but ancient.
Yeah, that's
I
cool.
don't know how to describe that.
Ixora gets it.
Yeah, Ixora knows. It's very.
It's all ancient Egypt.
Yeah. It's very it's probably one of the best bathrooms you've ever been in. The toilet seat is warm, so it's not cold metal on your butt kind of thing.
My kingdom for a Japanese toilet, right? That's what I'm saying. The ancients thought it up for. Oh, love it.
Yeah,
the day, everything. I'm here for it.
Phenomenal. Literally the best bathroom you've ever been in.
She's gonna make a comment this is so much better than the bathroom on the Khan's ship.
It is way better. While you are taking your bathroom break,
and I'll just say Cerberus. I wonder if Cerberus can hear me in the bathroom, or if it's a place of privacy.
Yeah, you can hear Ixora in the bathroom, but like you don't see anything in the bathroom essentially.
You hear from outside?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Through the door.
I was just wondering if you could hear me from in there. Sorry if it was a bother.
No, but who is Lacan?
Oh, Lacan? She was a very nice Goa'uld queen that we met approximately 3 months ago, 3 to 6 months ago. It was a little while ago. She was doing some science experiments, and we accidentally stumbled into one of them. But we made we made an arrangement with her, and I believe we are on quite good terms. She had a ship very similar to this one in construction.
She did. Trooper, make me what's like a memory check, like an intelligence check?
Intelligence, culture. I guess culture's kind of the history, but it's weird. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do make an intelligence check, please, Trooper.
Yes, I will. 14.
14. Okay. Your memory, now that you know that like the corruption is affecting like your memory and your neural load network, your memory's not as clear. But as she's describing Lacan and like having a similar ship, you know Lacan. It was a long time ago. She was here. She was friends with your passenger. Can't quite make those connections, but you recognize the name. You think you might have known her.
I have a question.
Certainly.
What sort of hairstyle did she have?
Oh, Ixora will describe it in
yeah.
perfect detail. Yeah, we actually left our associates Kathy, Coe, and Rock with her. I really hope that they've been doing well. We haven't heard recently. I wonder if
and Ixora describes Lacan pretty much exactly as the Lacan that you're thinking of.
I believe I know this Lacan.
Really? That is fascinating. Yes. Was Lacan a friend?
I believe that Lacan likes to have tapas and the food medium to hot spicy, and likes to have a brandy, I think you would call it.
She was very relaxed, but had a very stern air about her.
Does not like the ship too warm.
I noted that, yes. Bathrooms were not nearly as nice as yours. As I'm like washing my hands.
Yeah. Trooper, Lacan was a friend of yours. You have that much memory. You know that you were friends. And you know that I don't know if you probably wouldn't reveal this to Ixora, but she was more than friends with your passenger.
I think Ixora gets this idea of like, wait a minute, there was this one person who she mentioned. Because she gave me a little story, didn't she?
She did. She did give you a story.
She mentioned this story once about how she met this individual in the very young days of Earth. Someone who was unique and changed her perspective. It sounded very romantic, and I always wondered who it could be.
Ixora, you would know. Because she gave you like a 2-page like summary essentially. You would know that this person's name is Lucian or Tina.
Okay. I believe
that
their name
was the
was
person.
Lucian or Tina?
Very interesting. What has happened to Lacan? I have not seen her for
she's still
quite some time.
As far as I know, when I saw her a few months ago, she's flying around in her spaceship and working on her experiments with Kathy, Coe, and Rock. Oh, Kathy and Coe are Tok'ra, which are like Goa'uld, but have a different
philosophy?
Queen and philosophy. So they've been altered a little bit from the rest of the Goa'uld. And Rock was a Jaffa, a freed Jaffa. think
Where
they
is
had
Lacan
romantic
now?
entanglements. Oh, I am uncertain as to her exact coordinates, but we do have a meetup spot where we can relay messages if there is something of great importance that must be relayed to one another. We check it
I have not
periodically.
seen her in a very long time.
It's been
Oh,
a really long time.
Well, you have been away for quite some time on that planet where we first encountered you, which you don't remember, but yes.
I do not remember. I do remember I normally fly from place to place. Stay moving until I have to return my messages. I'm overdue returning the messages.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't return the messages, it could be a problem.
And I come out of the bathroom and I'm like, well, we're gonna work our hardest to ensure that you're back up to operational standards.
If there are problems, perhaps Lacan can help.
She did seem very tech savvy. If we can't get you up to snuff, as they say in the Tauri, why I'm not entirely certain, but it's an idiom that they use. Fully functional, operational again. Perhaps we can contact Lacan, as again her ship is very similar, the nanites and everything.
Oh, I imagine I do not wish to speak out of turn, but her ship is not the same as I.
No, it did not have as much personality, one could say, but mechanically it was very similar.
Cerberus, you do know, as she's talking about like Lacan's ship and stuff, Lacan helped design you. You remember her, you have very faint memory banks of like your time pre being the ship, like kind of in your development stage, but you do have flashes of her and your passenger. So she seemed to have helped.
If there are problems, if there's a problem, I think she will solve it. We should check out the hook while the DJ revolves it. Where have I heard that? So she is a good friend.
That's great. I think that, she is I wouldn't say she's a friend of mine.
I can introduce you.
Well, we were acquainted. I think she's a bit reserved, doesn't make friends easily, it would seem, but we were definitely friendly, if that makes sense. At least at the end.
Yes.
Maybe hanging out with Kathy Cohen Rock has warmed her up a little bit.
She is good. She is kind.
Yes.
She is thoughtful.
Some of the people I was with at the time were a bit more apprehensive, but I got good vibes from her. Well-intentions all around. So
Very true.
And she even wrote me up with a little story, and I think Exor has it on her data pad, and we'll just be reading it as she goes back. Yeah,
share it. You head back from the bathroom towards the bridge. During that time while you're gone,
I get another cup of tea.
You do get another cup of tea. Essentially, as soon as you come out of the bathroom, another cup of tea is delivered to you. Fiddler, you are researching. You are essentially following these pathways, making sure that this section that Cerberus is worried, you get kind of like worried vibe, have not been corrupted. With your 20 million, whatever it was, your
27.
27.
Thank you, 27. With your 27, the corruption has not yet reached this area, but it is quickly approaching this area. It is dangerously close to reaching this area.
Okay, with my 20 million that I rolled, in tracking the progress through the system and through the databanks to that location, one, can I follow how it's going through the ship, and does it seem and two, does it seem like it is something that can be quarantined?
So, Cerberus is a very complicated system.
Of course.
From what you've been able to tell from being like in these surface systems, these diagnostic systems, you imagine that you could create kind of like a firewall that would slow down the corruption. You don't quite, one, because you don't have like the source, you don't know, where it came from, but you don't have the source code of this corruption. You imagine you could create a firewall that could slow it down for the moment. You haven't spent enough time with it to know how to completely get rid of it yet. But you can easy peasy, even without Cerberus's permission, pop up those firewalls in this place if you would like, since they do seem to be worried about this area. It's up to you.
Okay. Cerberus, excuse me, sir. The location you asked me to look at, it is still fine, but that's a temporary thing. I can put up small barricades that may slow the corruption from getting to the location that you want me to protect, but I'd rather not do that if you don't want me to.
No, please do.
All right, I just wanted to ask for permission.
Thank you.
I will erect as significant of a firewall as I can.
Absolutely, easy peasy. You are able to essentially, as quickly as you're able, you pop up a kind of like a firewall around these systems. Essentially, you find every pathway into the system and you pop up a firewall in that pathway. So if the corruption jumps to a different area, it can't get in through like the back end kind of thing. You are able, with your 27, to do that within the next like 2 minutes. Even during that time, you can track the corruption as it gets progressively closer. It hasn't quite hit your firewall yet, but it is very close to doing so. So you feel like you got it kind of just in the nick of time. During that, you do also see, you find with your 27 the signal. You're able to find the signal as you're kind of in that area. These systems seem to be not next to each other, but they're kind of like in the same area, and you are able to track it through. You can, if you would like, pop up firewalls around that. You do see some of the corruption is already in those systems, unfortunately, but you can pop up some firewalls there as well to, again, slow down that corruption in that area.
Okay, I'll go ahead and do that. While I'm throwing these firewalls up, hey, Xora.
Yes. I'm like back into the room. I've just put away the pad, having finished reading the 2-page story Lacan gave me.
You told me that you found a port that was burnt out.
Yes, right here.
Did you see anything? Is there anything on the floor or anything around that might be?
No, I don't believe so. I'll do like a little double check.
Nothing in the area.
Maybe Jake and Gorik,
no.
he's gone. Maybe Jake and Gorik would have found something.
Unless the Roombas got
it
us.
was something on the infiltrators. Perhaps they had something on them.
I'll pop on the radio. Hi, Jake.
Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Fiddler? You hear like clang, a couple cursing sounds and duct tape.
When you guys were removing the refuse earlier, did you find
bodies?
any? Well, sure. What else are they? Did you find any like technology, like a disc or a card or a thumb drive or a pen pad or anything like that?
It's funny you mentioned that, but yeah, I found some sort of destroyed like USB drive type thing. You know, one of those Goa'uld memory stick.
Did you do anything to it?
Put it in my pocket. Do you need it?
Get that up to me right away.
Okay. Hey, Gork, here, hold this. And you hear some more duct tape. And
what are you putting duct tape on?
Nothing.
This is an ancient ship. You can't do that to an ancient ship. What is wrong with you people? I can't leave you alone for 5 seconds. Just cursing over the radio.
All right, he'll work his way off the top to bring you the stuff.
Yeah, Jake, easy peasy. You're able to you climb down the ladder. If Cerberus would like, they could have a Roomba ready to take it to Fiddler.
Yes.
Okay, so yeah, you see like a little
Roomba.
Yeah, waiting for you. And if you just like set it on top of the Roomba, it will take it off to Fiddler and Ixora in the control room.
Sweet. Yeah, he'll do that.
Perfect.
Then we'll get back to work with Gord.
Still hear the
Okay.
cursing over the radio.
Excuse me, gatekeeper.
Yes.
I have a question about my protocols.
Okay.
Someone is in danger right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I was told that we have a temporary solution, but not a long-term solution.
Mm-hmm.
I know it is not time, but I would prefer my passenger not be in spaces hooked up to machinery if a corruption might hit it.
Mhm.
What if that were the point of it all along? This corruption were not to attack me, but my friend.
It's certainly possible. You do know your protocols state that the safety of your passenger is top priority. So if you feel that the passenger is threatened, you can take appropriate action to correct that. If you think waking them up or taking them, off of the way their systems is set up is their main systems are a part of your programming, but there is like a backup generator where you can take them offline, put them on that backup generator for up to 6 hours.
Think. Excuse me, Ixora.
Yes.
My understanding is that you are a medical professional, is that correct?
Well, I'm a scientist, but I do know a good bit of medical knowledge, yes.
Science, medicine is science.
You are so right about that. Some people don't understand the difference, but I mean, understand that it is technically the same field. I have multiple specialities, but I am well equipped with general medical knowledge, yes.
Do you have medical supplies?
I do. Yes, we brought medical supplies with us. We brought chocolate. We always bring chocolate. We also brought an aqua generator, though you have plenty of power, so I don't think we need that. And she'll just go down like the list.
Chocolate.
Yes, medical kit. I do have one of those. Yes.
Would you be willing to be sworn in for a second level of secrecy?
She looks almost giddy. I would be honored.
You all have agreed to keep this secret level 1. Now you swear for secrecy level 2.
Yes, I swear for secrecy level 2. Stargate be damned,
Yes.
I'm learning knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And you will agree to oversee a medical process.
Certainly, I would love to.
Yes. Fiddler, I will be taking Ixora away from you briefly.
All right, but that will have our effective capacity for solving your issues up here. But if it's necessary, then
If you're working on the thrusters next, I'm afraid I'm not. That's not my expertise.
Wait,
You are much better at
I'm
that.
still just trying to corral this infection right now. I haven't even got to the thrusters.
All right. Well,
But I mean, if Cerberus needs you, go on.
I'll be back.
I'll have the bridge to myself.
You do indeed.
Yes, you and I alone on the bridge.
I mean, it was a figure of speech, man.
Oh, that is up to snuff. Please, follow me.
So,
Well
Cyril has a
done.
look on her face of like, I taught him.
Cerberus, you lead Ixora through. Essentially, another one of your Roombas comes up and starts to lead Ixora through the ship. You lead Ixora down a like a stairwell, not a stairwell, like a ladder system, essentially down to the lower decks.
Through the Jeffries tubes. Wrong show.
Yeah, essentially. You come out as you exit this ladder contraption thing. You come out into a
Little openings
massive
happen, so
yeah. You come
Doors.
out into the doors open and you come out into a massive hydroponics lab. This is a huge garden.
Oh,
You
Ixora
see-
is like walking a
This is
little
a
bit
treasure
slower.
trove. You immediately know, you see a shit ton of extinct plants in
The
this.
naturalist in her is
Yeah,
just like
a lot of these do not exist anymore. This is a treasure trove. You
My
see
gosh.
trees, you see, plants and
oh, this is fabulous.
bushes.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Have I died and gone to heaven? This is she just looks
You
like
have not ascended yet.
no, not I feel like I have. This is how wondrous this room is.
Mm.
Oh, this is not the
Cerberus
room.
leads you through.
Yes,
No,
yes,
this is not the
I
room.
understand that, but wow, it was just like looking like hesitantly, almost touching, but no, and just looking and just like like a kid in a candy shop.
Yeah, Cerberus leads you through
Love
the
some
the main
samples.
thoroughfare here until you get to what seems to be like the center of the room, and then there's like two small branching paths off to the side. Cerberus leads you down the left path, and you come to a smaller door. It's still like a very nice door, but it's a smaller door. You read ancient, so you would see the plaque as private quarters. The door opens. Cerberus leads you in. You see a very nice private quarters. There's like a sitting area. There seems to be like the equivalent of a bar. There's this massive bed with a hollow screen behind it, and you can see it's got like gentle rainfall right now.
Oh, that's lovely.
It's very peaceful. You imagine like it doesn't have to be on right now, but it just seems to be going out of habit. Would be the thought that you have as you enter here. And then Cerberus, the little robot, leads you through one of the side doors, and it opens up, and you see a stasis pod.
Oh.
I am concerned that this corruption might hurt my friend. So I would like to wake my friend up.
Certainly. Try to keep her
My
cool.
friend-
She's like, this is the coolest shit ever. Maybe not quite as cool as the plants, but right up there.
My friend is currently connected to my electrical
Oh.
system.
You're concerned about the corruption.
Yes,
Quite
your
understandably
fiddler
so.
has put up a firewall, but the way he made it seem as if that cannot hold for long.
It's probably only a matter of time. It is quite an advanced virus. Yeah.
I'm going to wake up my friend.
All right. I pull up my med kit.
He has a heart murmur.
Good to know.
Am I dying?
Not if we have anything to say about it, and you're not nearly progressed far enough to have those thoughts yet.
I see.
You're just a little sick, little under the weather, bad cold.
If I die, you must bring my friend to Lacan. If
All
I
right.
get too sick, I cannot move. So you'll have to take him away from me. On your ship, I assume you have one.
We do, but we're not gonna let it get that far. We are going to fix your thrusters, get you into space, and keep working from space, where whoever has set that signal can't follow as easily. You're not a sitting
Yes.
duck, as they call it again. They're a bird that just
Yes.
sits there a lot, I imagine.
I begin to bring my friend out of stasis.
Absolutely. You start the process. It's a little slow. You know that it's been based off of your memory gaps and like the last time you know that he was awake, it's been quite some time since he has been out of stasis. So you start the process slow, kind of slowly dethaw him. It takes a good like 10-15 minutes, but
Just
eventually
monitor the side panel, make sure everything's
Yeah,
looking good there.
even without a medicine check, everything seems fine. When you came into the room, the panels, you saw that he was in some kind of REM sleep. He seemed to have been dreaming. But as the process begins, he is, slowly taken out of that, and eventually the door does slide down and open up, and he is very slowly waking up in front of you. After a couple
Lucian, there are
moments,
people here. Do not be alarmed.
Eyes.
yeah. Lucian just is very slow to respond initially, and you see, Ixora, you see a very old, human appearing man. He looks, so I say very old. He looks to be the human equivalent
40.
of like, 70,
51.
51.
No, okay.
He's like 70, 75, something like that. But you imagine being an ancient, he's probably much older than that.
Yeah, and then like the
Much.
stasis, who knows how long he's been in that.
Who knows how old this man is? But he very slowly awakens and opens his eyes, and the very first thing you notice,
with the
he has the
I
greenest
imagine there
eyes
are-
you've ever seen.
Roombas with tea and Roombas with
yes.
like some carbohydrates and some like little Roombas just show up with sustenance for him.
Yeah, and you have all of his favorites, like his favorite tea, his favorite like post-stasis meal, that kind of stuff. You've got that all ready for him. You've got a Ruben that comes out with like his favorite set of like lounge clothes and things that you know how to take care of your friend. Ixor, the first thing you notice is he has the greenest eyes you've ever seen. They remind you a lot of the forests of your homeland, your home planet.
A little homesick.
Yeah, a little homesick. He has a very kind face. That's you also notice that because you've met a lot of people and they don't look very nice. He looks like he would be
They
a good
have some
friend.
niceness very deep down, some of them.
Deep
very
down.
deep down.
His niceness is very apparent.
Oh, that's
on
so
his face.
refreshing. And like once he seems to have like visually acknowledged me, I'll say,
Yeah.
in ancient, good morning, Mr. Lucian. I imagine it's been quite some time since you've been awake. Hi, I'm Ixora. I've recently become acquainted with your good friend Cerberus.
Hello. He does respond in ancient. Good morning, evening. What time of day is it?
Well, on this planet, the day cycles are really quite long. But as for the clock, it appears to be about midday.
Midday. Okay.
You've slept in.
Thank you. Ixora, pleasure to meet you. I am Lucian. He's not like perturbed that you're there.
Yeah,
He just
and I'm
seems
so tall. I just remembered
confused.
again how tall I am. So I'm probably like,
Yeah.
hello, Mr.
Yeah, you're kind of
Lucian.
like looking. He's like looking up at you. He looks a little like he's more so confused that you're there than anything else.
Yes. So there's a bit of a problem. With I hate to really bombard you with this as you've just woken up, but there is a bit of an issue with I think there were some saboteurs on the ship not too recently. Kidnapped Cerberus for a little bit and have implanted a virus of some sort. We are doing our best to mitigate it. Us being my fellow 3 members of Stargate Phoenix 3, which is well, it started off as a Tauri operation from Earth, but is expanded to be multicultural and multiracial, as we have a Tolan and a Jaffa with us, and I am an Aturan. You might know it as an offshoot of the Nox.
Yes, I was very confused. You do look very Nox, but you're not quite.
Very tall, yes.
Cerberus, are you
Yes.
all right?
I'm having memory issues and I can't see very far or move. There's been some damage. These people are helping me fix it, but they know Lacan, and they say there's a virus going through my systems. And most importantly, we are late returning the signal, and the kidnappers sent out a signal to someone, but I don't know whom. And
There we were.
we are in the location where the signal was sent. I can't move yet. So I don't want you hurt.
It is very concerning. Okay.
I'm sorry to, again, right after you wake up, it's a lot to take in.
No.
But I'm so pleased to meet you. And she says that in like the most genuine way.
Yeah. This is the first ancient you guys have come across.
Yes, that, and also there's that story with Lacan, and she's like, "Oh my gosh,
Oh my god,
Oh,
the romance.
this is like better than those K dramas I've started watching
Right.
from Tauri." Oh,
Lucian very slowly, very gingerly does step out of the stasis pod. He does just very gratefully, drink some of the tea, munches a little bit on the food. Ixora,
I have a question. Is
Yeah.
this tea caffeinated? Because I'm just wondering if Ixora is slowly and getting more and more hopped up
That's
on
an
this
excellent question.
caffeine.
Cerberus, is this yes, this is absolutely caffeinated tea.
Oh,
Ixora,
wonderful!
yes.
I'm on cup 8.
Oh god, okay.
But it's like a mild caffeination, although if you have 8 cups, although
You're gonna
your
feel
system is, you are not an ancient, so it might hit your system more.
But I am
Mhm.
very tall, so I imagine it's like it offsets it a little bit because there's just
Yeah.
more to go through. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I
Absolutely.
just was wondering, like,
Yeah, you're starting to feel it now on cup number
just a little
8.
buzz, just a little caffeine
little.
buzz. Yeah.
Lucian
I also
does.
imagine it's not caffeine, it's something else.
It's a
You know
different
how,
stimulant.
It's like
Yeah.
an ancient equivalent. Yeah. Lucian does he picks up like his lounge clothing, and he does step into the bathroom for
Mhm.
a couple moments and switches changes clothes, freshens up. Essentially, he's been in stasis for a very long time.
Mhm.
While he's in there, Cerberus, you do have essentially you guys have a neural link. He can speak to you without speaking out loud, and you can do the same.
Mhm.
He does ask you for like a more in-depth status report, which I'm assuming that you give to him.
absolutely.
Hey, do not bite me, ma'am.
And
You're
I
done.
also let him know when the gaps in my memory are.
Yeah.
And I have, when I first noticed there were gaps, I made a diagnostic of all the gaps that I had. And I give him now another list of all the gaps in my memory because he might be able to tell if there are more of them than there were before.
Yeah. He
It's only been a half a day, but
yeah, you've got some very concerning gaps in there. But he does take all of that, and then he will ask you essentially because like he knows you. Cerberus, how are you feeling about all this? How I understand you are concerned for me, but I'm concerned for you. How are you handling this?
it is good to have routine. These guests, I give them hospitality, and it's something I know how to do well. So
Very well.
that keeps my mind off of this. I am sorry that I did not realize I was asleep. I don't normally sleep, and I've slept a long time, and I don't know what has happened. There was someone inside of me for I don't know how long, and I didn't know it. I don't know what they did to me or what was happening, and I'm sorry if I was not able to keep you safe.
No. Don't apologize to me, Cerberus. None of this is your fault. We will figure this out together. You've done an amazing job keeping me safe all of these years. Don't start to doubt yourself now.
Yes, they know Lacan, though. They met her.
Yes, you did mention that, and yes, we will have to see. We will have to see. I think we've kept our guests waiting long enough. Let's
Yes.
see
Do
if
a
we can
very
get you fixed
quiet,
up.
giddy dance in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Just like,
It's just excitement.
He's
Yep.
a scientist, this Ixora, the Nox. No, like a Nox. She
Yes,
was here
she
to
said
make
a
sure
Turin.
you were all right. Yes. New race. I've learned a new language.
Oh. Their language?
Yes.
Are they not? Is ancient not the common language?
No.
Well, he wouldn't say ancient.
No.
He would say the name
Yes.
of our language. Yeah.
Yeah. Is our language not the common one?
Yeah, and I can never pronounce it right, but yeah.
Antiquitas.
So Antiquitas, yes, thank you.
No, and Quietus. I'm just checking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, I can never say it
And
right. I always get it wrong.
Quietus.
And Quietus. He exits.
No.
He's changed and heads out to you.
He just says, as you're going to meet Ixora, they say that many of our people have died.
Hmm. Very
Some sort
concerning.
of apocalypse, or I don't know if our home is still alive.
I will have to get some information from this Ixora. And you're having this mental conversation like as he's out and walking towards you, Ixora. Because they've got that neural link. To
I
you,
imagine
Ixora.
like there was like that little platter of food, like if there was like little like dough pastries of
there's-
some kind.
yeah.
Like she would have just taken one of them.
Oh no,
and
there's
been
like
"Oh,
plenty of food. I
ancient
imagine
food."
Cerberus has a habit of like over preparing and having like a bunch of options. So yeah, there's
she's
plenty
just
of food.
very
Snacking.
delicately
Yeah.
at the edges of like the plates, like just to taste a little bit of everything.
Yeah. So Lucian will essentially the brain, he's gonna have you guys, he's gonna lead the way back upstairs towards the bridge, and he's gonna essentially pick your brain about the last several hundred years of history.
Tells
and
him
get that from you.
everything that
Everything
she...
he wants to know.
Yeah,
Okay.
and probably more. Let's be real.
Yeah,
I
probably.
I would alert the other crew. Guests, my friend is awake. Please do not be alarmed.
Fiddler, you're the only one who hears this because Gorik and Jake are still outside at the moment.
Yeah. All right, I'm still working.
As they're heading back up, speaking of Gorik and Jake, I know Jake stepped away for a moment, but Gorik, go ahead, make me a
Oh no.
perception check.
Perception.
please.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm pretty good at those. Never mind.
You can't say that in
Okay.
this game, man. We're gonna nat
Never
one everything.
mind.
Natural one. Okay.
Unless
I'm sorry,
Jake was
can you-
helping.
Can you do something to change that? I cannot see outside. It makes me nervous.
It makes you really.
I can't see outside either.
I can't see outside either.
Oh,
6. Okay. You, Gorik, you
Yeah.
are essentially you're working on the final piece. You're reconnecting a couple of wires. And as you're doing so, you don't notice when there's like a surge of
Ooh.
energy, and
Mhm.
you take 6 points of like electrical damage as you get shocked by these wires. It's not enough to like put you on your ass or anything. It's just more so just like a quick
Yeah.
shock to your hand kind of thing. It hurts, but it's not anything life threatening. And you are finally able to get that piece, duct tape, super
Hey.
glued, fixed back. The
Mhm.
center array is now complete. Cerberus essentially like as you're following Ixora and Lucian back towards the bridge, suddenly like you can see outside now. You can see, you can hear. It's like half of your senses have been turned back on. It's kind of disorienting for a second. But you are able to it takes a couple seconds for it to get fully functional again, for those systems to reboot themselves, but you do have your outside sensors array back and functioning.
I think it's working, Bella.
I say to Gorik, can you hear me?
Gorik, you can't hear that.
Ah, yes. Cerberus.
Hey, you are looking very fine today. You are up to snuff.
And you seem to be running quite optimal at this point.
Thank you.
Yeah.
One moment. I'm going to send out my sensors. I want to check this area, on the ground, and also in space. I'm concerned.
Absolutely. That is very, very valid
Perception?
thing to do. Yes, please. You can do. I will allow perception or investigation, whichever you prefer.
Investigation.
Okay.
25. I'm looking for
25.
people coming when they should not be.
Perfect. Okay. With your 25, you detect a shit ton of life forms on the planet around your area. You have very high sensors. You're detecting like small, like lizard type creatures, kinds of things, just desert life. You're detecting a lot of those around the ship, around the area within a 5-mile radius. You don't detect any incoming signals. You do see you still have that one, which I think, have we turned that off
We
yet? I
turned
don't
that
know.
off.
I don't think. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I think we turned that off. You aren't detecting any incoming signals. You are detecting a ship in orbit. You would imagine you're just
Is
through
it theirs?
deductive reasoning, it's theirs. Yeah, because they did tell you that they did have a ship. Past that, you're not detecting any incoming space wormholes or hyperspace windows or anything like that. So at the moment, nothing appears to be approaching.
Good. Goa'uld and Jake Miller, my friend is away. He may wish to speak with you both.
I think we're done out here.
Okay.
I'll just gather up with Jake and head inside, I assume.
Like there's like the
Perfect.
last little bit of the duct tape roll that didn't get used
Yeah.
up.
Tuck that
I'll
away in the pocket.
Save that for later. Yeah. When I need it.
Okay. So you guys head back through the ship. And kind of at the same time, Gorik, Jake, Ixora, and Lucian all appear at the bridge. But before we get there, Fiddler,
Mm-hmm.
you have been you've been working away. You've been able to not seal off, but you have been able to put firewalls in the path of this corruption, so it's not spreading any further for the moment. The first firewall that you put up has been hit at this point. The corruption has reached it. You've slowed it down significantly, but you do see, even as you're working, popping up all of those other firewalls, it is still eating away at the firewall and trying to get through, and doing a pretty good job of it. It's going to take it some time, but it will eventually get through.
Okay.
Go ahead, roll me one more science or engineering check to see if we can get rid of and see if we can find a solution to this virus. I will allow advantage, and then if you have that, you get the tension die.
Natural 20
Ooh,
and 4 for 31.
31. Okay. So you you are in Cerberus' systems. And Cerberus, you're aware of all of this. Essentially, you have enough processing power that you can
Fiddler's
have these
good.
conversations and track what Fiddler is doing. Excuse me. Fiddler, you are
Hi.
able to, you're really like kind of hyper focused on, you've got all the firewalls in place, you've slowed it down as much as you can. So now you switch your focus over to the virus itself, this entity itself, to see if you can get rid of this.
Okay. What about the USB that was sent?
Yeah.
Yes, you do have
Okay.
that. And that does help aid you. Essentially, it does give you kind of like that extra boost. You take a look at that first. This is very similar to the data device that you guys found when First Prime Savarl sieged the planet you guys were visiting.
We're familiar with that
Oh.
one. Hey.
We
You
are.
are. You recognize this is the same design. This is probably made by the same person. You can see even through the burnt out like scorch marks that it has on it, you see the symbol, the first prime symbol that Svarl has on his head, the first prime symbol for Kolchotos, the Goa'uld system lord. Former system lord. He's not a system lord anymore. He's just a Goa'uld.
Just crazy.
Just crazy. Just going insane. You recognize that, so you imagine that perhaps the person who stole Cerberus was a Jaffa of Kolchotos. You did see that original symbol of Lacan on their forehead. They did have that. I believe that's what I told you, is that they had Lacan symbol. But you do also know that sizable portion of Lacan's Jaffa defected when she was banished a long time ago.
Okay.
So you imagine that maybe they were appropriated into Kolchotos' forces. With the data stick and with you have that port, you know that it came in, you are able to essentially not reverse engineer, but because it's a living entity. It is very similar to Cerberus in the fact that it has a consciousness. You haven't been able to tap into that consciousness. You can't communicate with it yet, but you are able to essentially find the root of it in Cerberus's coding. You are able, with your natural 20, 31 with the bonus, you are able to dive deeper into Cerberus's systems.
Make some digital roundup. Just
essentially spray around, do some what is it, raid ant spray.
Yes.
As soon as you would like, you can deploy a fix that will essentially kill all of the virus. The drawback is that it will also kill all of the pathways that it has infected. In order to get rid of it, you have to completely burn it out. And that will also burn out those systems that a Cerberus has, that it infected.
You said that it is sentient like Cerberus.
Not
to a degree?
Not to the, it's not nearly as advanced as Cerberus. You've never seen anything as advanced as Cerberus.
But do I believe that this system was created to burn out Cerberus and replace it?
That's an excellent question. Roll me an insight check.
14.
14. You can't be for sure. Like you have no way of communicating with this thing. You don't know for sure, but you imagine it's a pretty good guess that from what you've seen, because what it was doing was corrupting and taking over those pathways. It wasn't damaging them. It was removing access from Cerberus. It was taking those away from Cerberus.
Okay.
So you imagine that is what this was to do. It was going to take over Cerberus and repurpose Cerberus for whatever means.
All right. Last question before we move forward. Do I believe it's possible to... Is it possible to quarantine or remove a version of this for study?
With a 31, it would be very risky. You could, but you could also severely damage Cerberus in the process of doing that.
All right.
So yes, but with risk.
With my firewalls in place and the knowledge that I can purge this, and knowing that Lucian is coming to the bridge, I will hold off on deploying the nuclear option until I speak with both Cerberus and Lucian and the rest of the group.
Perfect. Okay. You essentially come to that conclusion as the rest of the group reaches the bridge. So everyone is here now. What would you guys like to do? Lucian, you guys all see, you see a 75-year-old human looking man. He has short, curly gray hair. Doesn't seem to be frail. He does seem to have a very lean, minimal amount of muscle. There doesn't seem to have been too much muscle degeneration while in stasis. You imagine for that to be the case and for him to have been asleep for it's a good stasis system, probably the most advanced you guys have ever come across, which seems to be for par for course with Cerberus. He has a very pleasant demeanor to him. Essentially, he is very much so. You get the feeling of like a friendly grandpa kind of vibe from him.
Your book is on the console. You left it last time.
I was wondering where that got to. Thank you, Cerberus. You do hear him. He is speaking ancient.
I'm not sure what all the gobbledygook is going on in there, but I've made a discovery. If you're interested.
Oh, yes, this is Fiddler. I'll say in ancient and then Fiddler in English. This is Lucian. He is Cerberus's friend and has
Cerberus
been in stasis on the
mentioned
ship.
that. Wonderful.
And I'll also go forth with Jake and Gorak as well.
If you could
Cool.
translate for our old friend here, I'm going to let Cerberus know what's going on.
Certainly.
I can do that.
Cerberus
Oh.
friend. Either one. I don't mind. I mean, you're quite impressive as it is. So, Mr. Cerberus friend.
I will just translate everything into his mind.
Yeah, and actually, you with the neural link, during this conversation, he will learn English. Essentially, by the end of the conversation, he'll be able to,
Those ancients,
speak
so
without a
quick
translator.
at languages.
So quick, yeah.
All right, I've isolated the actual virus. It is a learning system, much like a very rudimentary form of yourself. I believe, I'm not entirely sure. I believe that it was created to replace you, burn out your systems, replace you with a much more malleable form of artificial intelligence to operate the ship and go up it for whatever nefarious means. I can destroy it, but in doing so, any and all systems that it has co-opted will be lost to you until you're repaired.
Very concerning.
Would I be able to be repaired?
Oh, I'd like to think so.
I
look at Lucian like
Lucian crosses over to essentially the console that you're at, Fiddler. And he
I will start throwing up everything I've found, everything I pointed out. I'll just have it spread out on all the different screens, and if we can bring up any extra screens, I'll toss those up too.
Yeah, you toss those up, and then he just kind of like leans over and just real quickly like pops up a couple more and goes like you see he goes like super deep into Cerberus's systems.
While he's looking at that, I'll lean over to Fiddler and be like, "Is the navigation could Cerberus still be moved if the virus was purged? Have those systems been infected? I know they've been damaged, but I don't know if they've been infected."
I was just following the virus. I can't get deep enough in. I don't have the level 2 security that you do to be able to really play with the stuff. So I'm just, I'm the doctor that can only play with the skin level stuff.
Just
so.
open up a second console and see if those systems.
And he just gives you like death stare.
Roll me, Ixora, roll me a engineering check, please, with your level 2 clearance.
My level 2
and I will help now that I can see it happening.
Yeah.
I can help
That's
her
perfect.
too.
That's perfect.
Oh, good.
While
14.
You guys, 14. Okay. While you guys are doing that,
Somebody that once.
Blah blah blah. Brain. What the fuck is his name? Oh my god, Lucian, the character who I made. Lucian, through his neural link with you, Cerberus, he goes into your systems and he's essentially like looking over all of the work that Fiddler did and in the neural link to you, and says, "These friends you have made are quite good at what they do. They seem to have slowed down this entity."
I promised. They promised not to tell anyone about this ship.
That's good. Sworn to secrecy first. Excellent. I believe I should be able to repair any damage if we do purge it. I would need to get to blah blah blah. Name of the place. Hold on.
They know where to find Lacan, if that would help.
Yonkel Station. Yes, I do believe Lacan's help would be good, but I would need to get you to Yonkel Station first. to really
Yes.
get into your into repair.
I don't know if that place exists anymore. If our home
Oh.
does.
Oh, that is probably something we should check. Let me
I-
see. He like checks and he sees that your sensors arrays have now been fixed. Oh, that's good. Here, let's start a scan and let's scan that section
Yes.
of space and see if we
By the
can.
way,
Hmm.
and this is private, I
Yep.
asked them if they knew anything about that general sector of space. I did not mention our home for obvious reasons. They said that it was a place they did not know anything about. It was dark. I don't
Hmm.
know if that is because they do not know our home or if something has happened to it.
It could just be that the defensives have kept people out of that sector of space, but it could also be that no one goes there because it's dead space. So yes, let's start a scan with your long range sensors. Let's get that going. But yes,
I
I
will
do
also
believe.
send out the message.
Yes,
Wait.
yes. See if you get that ping back.
Before I do, is it wise to send off this message if there might be some people observing us? I did not see anyone in the area,
Hmm.
but I
Yes,
wouldn't
you
want
did
to alert
say
anyone to our, well,
our
if
presence.
there are
Yes.
enemies.
Perhaps we should wait till we are underway until we get you into the sky, into space, and then we can send out the ping and see if we get an answer back. Because regardless, I think we'll have to go home to Yonkul and see. We will have to see. We need to go home. It's been too long.
Fiddler likes jokes about science. And Jake Miller, he is Tauri. They
Hmm.
are different now. Gorik is very open, easy to read. He is capable of violence, but he's only been friendly to me.
I was a little
So-
concerned when I saw he was Jafar, but
He's just
That's
over
a-
at the crafts, like stuffing his face with
yeah.
interesting foods. Ooh.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
suppose if Lacan's Jafar can be on our side, then others can as well. So I do like Explorer. She
Yeah.
does seem very scientific.
Yes. Also, I would like to ask a question. Favor.
Always.
She made a face that I could tell from my sensors when we were walking to your quarters that she might oversee your coming out of stasis.
Mhm.
She likes plants.
Oh. Well, she is welcome to explore the garden as much as she would like. I would ask that she not take any samples for the time being until we can determine what is still viable and what is not. We don't want to upset any natural balances of any of the planets in this universe.
Yes,
But yes, no,
I
of
don't
course, she's
remember
more
many
than welcome.
things.
We will get you fixed up. We will get that. We will get that fixed. To the rest of you, you just guys see Lucian siphoning through these systems and doing checks. With your check, Ixora,
14.
remind me again what you were checking. You were
I was
the
checking to
propulsion?
see if, like the propulsion and navigation were affected
Yes.
by the virus, to see if we could move him without, if we purge that part of service, if we could still move the ship.
Yeah. No. So
Because
you
they were
don't
damaged,
see...
so I wasn't sure if they could have
Right,
gotten
right.
access to it. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't see any corruption in the propulsions or
God.
navigation systems. You imagine it's literally physical damage from the crash.
Great. I mean, physical damage bad, but like great that they couldn't get infected due to the physical damage.
Yeah.
So I'll be a little relieved.
So Lucian gets done with his scan essentially at the same time as you guys, and
Mhm.
I do
We're both like,
believe
"Oh,
that
good."
I do believe that any damage that burning out this virus causes would be repairable if Cerberus and I
Oh,
were able to get
good.
home. Did I hear that you were looking into our systems, our propulsion
Yes, your
systems?
propulsion and navigation systems are physically damaged and therefore have not been interfered with by the virus at all.
That should be an easy fix. We have repair parts and things that we need to get that done. Cerberus, how are your outside sensors? Can you see now that they have, I assume
Yes.
they've been repaired.
Jake Miller and Gorak fixed them.
Excellent. Cerberus, with your outside sensors now fixed, you can
Lots
see
of duct
that
tape.
there are yeah, lots of duct tape is holding together your sensors at the moment. But you do see that essentially there's damage to your propulsion system that would need to be fixed. Shouldn't take too long. You have the schematics, you can essentially do the same thing. You can have Jake and Gorak or Fiddler and whoever you would like to go out and fix them, and it should take about an hour to fix. Shouldn't be anything too
And-
complicated.
Now that I can see out there, I can imagine I can bring my small robots as well.
Yeah.
I can't see, I cannot bring them. But please, those good with repairs, my propulsion systems, we can fix them together.
Perfect. So whoever would like can assist with those. You guys can do
Is life support okay from the virus?
Yeah.
I'm just okay. I had
Yeah.
Chant brought that up, and I was like, "That's a great question. We have not asked."
no,
Like,
life
get up
support
into
has not been
space and
affected.
then-
Fiddler would know that life support outside of the stasis, the
Yeah.
outside of those systems was the
Yeah, the
next one
pod
that
was
was being
okay.
attacked.
Oh,
So it would have
was
been a
close.
problem, yeah, if you
Thanks,
guys
Fiddler.
hadn't gone to it as quickly as you had.
What
So
systems have been affected?
excellent
what did
question.
they
So
take?
some of your memory banks have been affected, obviously, which you kind of knew. You have some of the research bays that you have on the ship have been affected. Any research, any experiments will be lost in this purge. You do know, you and Lucian would know, that a lot of the research that you guys were doing on this ship was sought after by Kolchotos. Kolchotos and Lacan are in a very long, very ancient rivalry. And he wanted this information. He wanted what you guys were working on. So a lot of that seems to be the first thing that was infected outside of your memories was the research areas and those things. You see some of the plumbing has been affected, and it looks like I said, the next thing was the stasis for Lucian, and then life support was the next. And the reason why it's in the plumbing is because it couldn't get to those two.
Weapon systems?
Weapon systems you have half of them. Half of them have been affected, but the other half are fine. And the reason is because they are essentially the weapon systems.
right next to plumbing.
Yeah, they're housed in the same area as the internal plumbing and stuff. You are able to, whoever would like, can roll me engineering checks to fix the propulsion system. If you guys
Fiddler
want to
would like
stack it,
that. It's like, I really appreciate all the chit chat and everything, but this virus is eating away at my firewalls, and it's going to break through pretty soon. Should I go ahead and hit the button, or are we just going to wait till they get something else?
The full decision is up to Cerberus, but I believe I will be able to repair. Once we get home, I will be able to repair anything. Cerberus, you should be able to function and fly even with those areas burnt out and damaged for the moment. I leave the decision up to you.
Well, I cannot. It will be painful. When a circuit burns out, it gives a great deal of pain. But it is better to cauterize than to die. It is moments like this that I am sad that I cannot drink bread.
I just pat the side of the ship, like they're there.
So is that a yes?
Yes.
But
Lucian.
Okay. Yes.
Could you sit in the chair?
Absolutely. And he does. Easy, quick, just sits in that center console chair.
It's like holding my hand.
Thanks for the
I guess
hospitality,
Fiddler
Cerberus.
slides out. I guess.
Yeah.
Say, fine.
Yeah.
Here's the button. You can press it if you want. I mean, I was comfortable there, and I got it going for you. Whatever. It's fine. I'll just go over here and go work on the propulsion system and save the day. Save the day again. All right, fine.
In
You're
your
so good at
neural
it, though,
link,
Fiddler.
very good at it. In your neural link, Lucian says to you, Cerberus, I promise we will fix you. I'm sorry for any pain you will feel, but we will make you better. Let me know when you're ready.
Thank you to all of you. I am ready.
Okay. And with that, he presses it. And you do feel like it's painful. If a ship could scream, you might. And
I do.
yeah, you guys all hear it. It's
Ooh.
gut-wrenching.
It sounds like metal scraping against metal. It's that kind of.
Yeah, that awful sound. It only lasts a couple seconds, and then those areas are purged. Fiddler, you are able to see that it's totally gone. You've been able to completely erase it. Trooper, you don't feel. You notice the absence of those, though, kind of like when you lose a limb, you notice the absence of it, and you kind of get like that phantom limb kind of thing. But it's not too unbearable. It's not. You imagine as soon as Lucian, you'll be relieved when Lucian fixes it up.
It's probably strange to have parts of your body. It's like dead spots, right?
Yeah.
Like nerve,
like
nerve ending dead spots.
Yeah. Like when you have like burns, like when you have the
Yeah.
and you can't feel anything there. Yeah.
Like you know it's there, but you can't sense it.
Feel it. Yeah, sense it. Yeah. Fiddler. You are fixing the propulsion systems. Go ahead, you can roll your engineering check, and then same thing, you have your tension die and your advantage as well.
Pretty, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
Easy peasy.
30.
It takes you about 45 minutes to fix the propulsion systems outside. You've got the schematics, you've got the help of Cerberus. Cerberus kind of guides you through a couple spots and everything. And you are able to get the ship's systems, the propulsion systems, back online. You guys can take off whenever you prefer.
Everyone, there are chairs. You should sit on them.
And I get my 10th cup of tea.
Yep. Everybody.
I imagine it's sort of like chocolate, cocaine, caffeine, all those things are all.
That's so good.
All rolled into one. It's phenomenal. You guys all do take a seat. The Roomba comes around, the little robot comes around and gives you guys all a cup of tea. Just kind of like a pre-send off, like little snack kind of thing.
Delightful.
And you guys don't even notice it when Cerberus takes off. It is completely smooth. There is
like a bullet
no
train in
transition.
Japan. You're just like, oh,
Yeah.
we're moving.
Yeah, you just see essentially as Cerberus takes off, the shields in front of the windows lower, and the only way you can see that you're moving is you know that you're moving is because you can visually see it. As Cerberus
I imagine
takes
I
off-
play some music, by the way.
Oh, absolutely.
Some very light music of which you have never heard before.
Yes.
Never. It's like the ancient equivalent of like Bach or Mozart or something
Yes.
like that. Yeah. Very soothing, very classical feeling kind of piano. Very nice, very nice. And as Cerberus takes off, Lucian in the captain's chair and the remainder of our team in the co-pilot chairs, that is where we are going to end tonight's session. Yeah, so we thank you guys very much. This is our penultimate episode. We have one more episode that our dear Trooper will still be a part of. You will be a part of our finale, so I'm very excited for that. Trooper is not leaving us just yet, if that's okay with you, Trooper.
It's fine with me. I'm a ship.
You're a ship. So what we're gonna do, go around, tell us who you are, what your favorite part is and what you are most looking forward to in our finale in the next couple of weeks. Tell me, what you're anticipating is. Tell me your predictions. What do you think is going to happen? My name is Nuggetosaurus. I'm the Gate Master here on Tuesday nights in our Stargate Flames of Hope. You can also find me here on Mondays when we play on our Mondays in Exandria campaign, as well as tomorrow. You can find me here tomorrow playing in our Call of Cthulhu game, which is not terrifying at all. I definitely wasn't
Chill.
tranced into traumatizing an entire lobby full of people at all. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. But yeah, that's me. My favorite part, I loved Ixora's reaction to Lucian waking up and making the connection that Lucian and Lacan were lovers, and that this is that person, and I'm very
Little
excited
ship
to
and
see.
heart is so happy.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what you guys do in the next final episode and where that leads and what that might possibly mean for a second season. We'll see. And yeah, that's me. I'm gonna hand it back over to you, Lindy.
Wonderful,
and let you
wonderful.
Close us out.
We're gonna keep going around in the circle, reverse circle from when we started. So Jake Miller, how was tonight for you, Shiny Pilot?
Good. Sorry, I'm dropping. I'm really tired, but it was great. I like this type of stuff. It's like listening to a Stargate episode all over again, like watching it on TV. It's great. Trying to think of favorite parts real quick. Really liked us jury rigging the ears of the ship back on. I liked Lucius. Lucius is very interesting, and yeah, that was a surprise. I like the Roombas. And I like the massive amounts of tea that Ixora is drinking. That's fantastic. So predictions are that Ixora is going to have to go to the restroom a lot, and then she will be hopelessly addicted to the tea. The other prediction is it's going to be a classic Stargate episode to where we're going to get back home, we learn just a little bit of information, but don't really come home with anything valuable or truly
so
worthwhile other than the friendships that we made along the way. So we'll see what happens. That's it. Thanks, everybody.
Wonderful, wonderful. And Gorik, our gourmand, how is tonight for you?
Very good, very good. I'm D20 Coup de Grace. You can find me here Mondays and Tuesdays. My favorite part, I think, was when Trooper made Fiddler the keep calm cake. I thought that was pretty funny. And thanks, Trooper, for joining us again. And I can't wait for the next episode.
Wonderful, wonderful. And speaking of Trooper, our guest, our Cerberus, our ship. Trooper, how was tonight for you?
Oh, it was good. I'm Trooper SJP, and I've been playing Wait, hold on. Wait.
I was gonna say, you're still Cerberus.
I'm Trooper SJP, and I've been playing Cerberus tonight. Oh, golly. Gee whiz. What is today? Today is Tuesday. You can find me on Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern on my channel, Trooper SJP, with Lindy for The Gamblers, which is our Traveler Pirates of Draenix campaign. You should come in and hang out with us. Oh, gosh. Oh, I should also say that this week on Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern over at Praxcore, the Smophoria's channel, she's doing a 12-hour, 14-hour charity stream. And I'm in the 5 o'clock D&D game, Death's Agents, and I made my character randomly through D&D Beyond because that is now my new joy, because I found out you can do that. And so I just press the random character button and then I get weird stuff, and I'm excited about that. And Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, also at Praxagor, the Smophoria's channel, you can also join me with Lindy for Carousel Court, the opening of the 3rd season. So all of that out of the way. I had such a good time. It was, I have never played a living ship before. That is a thing I haven't done yet. This is my first time playing a living ship, but I have watched various sci-fi shows with organic ships, and I thought about them a lot, and thinking about like the implications of what it's like to be a living ship. And I will just say, I suppose this is like a weird thing, but one of my favorite moments was when I was able to take off. And I imagine you don't like start in, like you just go, right? Because this is you, it's your body. You just move through space. So that was very sort of evocative. I think our Gate Master did such a great job with the descriptions and really making this whole place feel very much alive. And I really was thinking about how do you deal with the the conundrum of you're not supposed to impact the development of growing species. That's really the big no-go. But
We seemed pretty
just-
knowledgeable and capable, so...
yeah, and also number one is just that Lucian doesn't get infected with some kind of like, what if they're trying to kill him? Right.
Yep.
So I had a lot of feels. I was a robot, but I had a lot of feels. I was not a robot. I was living shit. A lot of feels. And I really appreciate everybody being so lovely and wonderful. And you all just have such a great vibe, and you all have such really good camaraderie, and sort of having you all crawl around inside of my body. I could just feel the teamwork, oozing off of you, and everybody just brought such a wonderful thing. And I know that Fiddler wants to kidnap me, but at least he did. I don't know if he does anymore. But I appreciate the cauterization. Thank you. What do you guys
Thank you. Someone responsible for the cauterization analogy would be Fiddler. Deception check. How was tonight for you?
Tonight was great. Fiddler got to shine when he needed to, save the ship, and got relegated to go, hey, good boy, go fix the machine, go fix the propulsion now, while the rest of us enjoy snacks. It'd be fine. Yeah,
but I got you good snacks though.
Yeah, everybody else had great snacks. I had sand and
You got a special tart
and repair.
beforehand, though.
That's true, and that was my favorite part. Is that Fiddler was visibly afraid because he knew exactly how advanced this ship was, and how they basically their fate was in the hands of a ship that was damaged. And severely damaged, and plus baby replicators running everywhere, and so yeah, getting the Tolan tart as a peace offering and bad jokes just made it feel like home all of a sudden. So it worked very well, and I love that. That was my favorite part. That and the tea, the constant stream of addicting life-changing tea that Ixora will never. She's an addict now. She'll never.
I need this tea. You don't understand. I need it. Look, man.
And the tea is the path to enlightenment.
Exactly.
I did not realize that now. This is like I've just ruined the whole timeline, because now, right now, you're gonna just ascend through the tea.
Ixora's just gonna disappear one day. She's gonna ascend, and the rest of us won't know what happened. And there's a pot of tea left behind. That's all it'll be. What I expect to happen in the next episode, our finale, is I expect that our unshackled ambulatory AI, which should be completed, will then find and romance our ship, and they will live happily ever after in the seas of stars.
Ship it.
We're shipping the ship, and our unshackled a crazy death
Drew
AI.
is very chill.
Drew's not crazy at all.
We have no idea what Drew
He's
is
just
at this point.
Slightly obsessive.
I did not roll well enough when I saved Drew's
crazy.
consciousness. Not as well as I rolled for Cerberus. So
that's very true.
But sometimes love needs crazy. So that's that'll be perfect.
You're shipping me with somebody who's going to hurt my feelings later. I see you. That's fine.
No. She's the obsessive type. If anything, you'll be like, please give me some space. She'll be like, what's that though?
And how do you do that when you're in space? How do you give space in space? I don't know. But no, that's what I see. That's my fun. I know Ixora probably thinks the same thing. So thank you so much, Trooper. Thank you for being with us. This has been such a pleasure and so much fun. And I hope everyone has a great night. Thanks for watching.
Thank you. So my favorite moments from tonight was also the constant stream of tea. Just trying to figure how many cups. We're in 10 now. It's fine. It's been like a half day, full day, practically being here. It's fine. She's a tall girl, but yes, definitely gonna get hooked. Definitely gonna need to know what blend that is and how to replicate it, because she's hooked now. You can't hooked on ancient tea. It's fine, and maybe she'll ascend. I don't know. Out of everyone here, she's probably the closest due to her not completely pacifist, but mostly pacifist nature. I don't know. I feel like she'd get along with a lot of the ancient vibes. She gets along with everyone. I mean, she just thinks Goa'uld need therapy. I mean, girl's got some thoughts, but I also really loved the sheer amount of duct tape holding this sensor array together on the outside. That the negative that I foresee on our finale is that sheer amount of duct tape holding that sensor array together. But in space, there's a lot less friction, so maybe it'll be fine.
Look, I got
I'm
some
gonna get my
left.
nanites to
It'll
fix
It'll be
it.
fine.
Get the nanites.
The nanites
Fiddler
will
went,
fix
if
it.
Fiddler knew there was duct tape and knew what they were doing, he did not come inside until that was repaired. Don't worry.
Okay.
That
Whew. All right. I foresee
no, that
less
was
duct
taken
tape
care of.
issues. Oh, I also just I loved them putting it with duct tape and bubblegum. We will fix this sensor array. And Fiddler just getting obscenely jealous over the level 2 clearance versus his level 1 clearance. It tickled me. Getting distracted by plants, but keeping on, staying calm and keeping on. Although I foresee the amount of tea in Ixora's system. There's like a graph of like Ixora's chill versus the amount of tea she's consumed, and it's gonna hit a point where it's gonna be like no chill. There's gonna be no chill left, and all tea, all caffeine, all enthusiasm on unhinged Ixora is what I foresee for our finale, based on the sheer levels of stimulant that is in this tea. And maybe some food, and just the excitement of the situation, because oh my gosh, this is like a scientist archaeologist's dream right here. We're living the dream, baby. I also foresee Stargate Phoenix Command being a little peeved that we swore to secrecy and did a bunch of cool stuff, and we probably aren't going to talk about it. It'll be the shortest report Ixor has ever written, and they're not going to like it. That's what I foresee. But you can find us here tomorrow night.
Can't report on the ancients. It's a secret. Okay, come on.
I can report on, like, things that aren't secret because we already know them. Like, we know the ship existed. We can say that it was damaged and that we fixed it. And that that it had really good tea. Because we were not sworn to secrecy at that point in time. So, yes. Anyways, you can find us here tomorrow night for Call of Cthulhu Below the Land of Fire, 1986, Tierra del Fuego, Ushuaia, Argentina. Shit's happening. We have Doris, who, I'm sorry, this is not her current outfit, but she's definitely just a taxidermied penguin. Nothing else, nothing special. I wouldn't even worry about it. There's some earthquakes and a volcano, and people have gone missing in a submarine, and things are not fun. There might be a cult. There's definitely a cult, and they're gonna learn a bunch of stuff, and it's gonna be so much fun. They have so many things to look into, as is the nature of a Cthulhu game. And of course, next Monday for our Mondays in Exandria, the new batch campaign, and not this Tuesday, but the Tuesday after that for our Stargate Flames of Hope finale, which I'm very excited about. So, thank you all so much, and until next time, have fun and play games.